Sactown Sports. It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. Going up on a Tuesday as the Kings aren't able to. They would have joined Rare Air, Chris. Our Kyle Draper mentioned last night. If they had one, they would have joined the Spurs from the Dynasty period and the
2016 Warriors.
And the 2016 Warriors, but not able to get it done. 5-2, nothing to sneeze at. We were hoping for a 5-2. Honestly, we were hoping for a 4-3. Stiles and Watkins taking up to 2 p.m. Our last show in the studio before we take this show on the road and head to Las Vegas.
Viva.
Super Bowl weekend. I'm already feeling FOMO. Okay, they had opening night. They had opening night last night, and I see it was a free-for-all. Everybody is interviewing people. I'm thinking, man, I'm trying to get out there right now, and I don't know what the situation is tonight. We get in around 7-ish, so I think that I don't think there will be another situation like last night tonight, but we will go to all the sanctioned opportunities, all the media availabilities. Nate Littlefield behind the glass also will be riding with us, and our guy, Jay. So we got a full crew and Emil Fergoso, obviously, who is already out there. He got to go to the free-for-all last night, which looked like a great time. So we will be talking a lot of football just to let everybody know. We know it's the trade deadline, the NBA trade deadline, which I still don't think the Kings are going to do anything. Now people are starting to come around to my side, Chris.
We'll see.
I was there. I was there. Now, all right, I can still look crazy.
Yeah, we'll see.
I can still look crazy. So as this whole thing goes throughout the rest of the week, just so everybody knows, and we'll talk about it again when we are on location tomorrow. But as this thing goes, there's just going to be a lot of interviews, a lot of football talk. We're going to try to squeeze in the Kings as things go, but we know the other shows, the morning show and the Drive guys, they got you for your Kings coverage. We are going to be on Radio Row for Super Bowl week, so there will be a lot of interviews. It will be, dare I say, even more podcasty than our typical shows are. We're still breaking. If we're going to be on, I believe, during the trade deadline.
Yeah, it's noon
so
on Thursday.
Whatever does break for the Kings, obviously we got you. But as far as the deep dives that we get into with the Kings, probably a bit of a break from that, from 10 to 2, but everybody else has you, and anything big that comes up, obviously we got you as well. So this is one of our last days to really get into that deep dive, and we will do so with Brendan Nunez at 12 o'clock for our triangle, our Kings triangle, not a full roundtable because Frankie Cardicelli is too cool for school.
He's got to work.
He's got to work. He's the hardest working man at the station. I keep telling everybody. So just wanted to lay all that out as the Kings run into a complete buzzsaw last night. I'm not one for more. It's not a moral victory because you did just lose, but it's a loss that I don't really have a problem with. I think the Kings really did give solid effort throughout the course of the game, but the Cavs just couldn't miss. They just couldn't miss.
No, they could not miss at all. And maybe that's a problem that we need to start looking at. Is it a Kings problem? Because it seems like every single team, actually they do. I looked it up yesterday, and the teams are shooting 39% from three when they face the Sacramento Kings. Right now, the Los Angeles Clippers lead the NBA in three-point percentage. They shoot 39.5%. So it's just like pretty much every single night the Kings play basketball, their opponent is pretty much shooting like the best three-point shooting team in the entire NBA. That could be unlucky, or it could be the Kings are doing something fundamental.
When you watch the Kings defensively, though, I feel like there are times where it feels like they are late to rotations. Then there are times where I feel like they're not. Right? So for this to be, I guess, the norm, I guess there are more games where they are late than there are when they are not. And I was watching NBA TV last night, and Jamal Crawford, they were talking about how certain teams, and they were saying specifically the Mavs, their offense is their defense. And I feel like the Kings fall into that category where their defense is trying to be better, but their offense is their defense. If that offense isn't cooking, that's a problem. I think the Kings are better than the Mavs defensively.
Sure.
But when I watch the Kings, it doesn't feel like they're that late on rotations.
No, I mean, and this is where you could point to personnel. Like, this is why you need a Dorian Finney-Smith or Royce O'Neal, is because when you have the guys who have extra length, of course, you're playing in a game of giants. Like, everybody's huge. Everybody has ridiculous wingspans. But if you can get the freak of freaks, and that's where Jeremy Grant, who has like a 7'3", 7'4" wingspan, that's where a guy like that is severely needed on the Kings, because those are the guys who can both help in the paint, but then also have a long enough wingspan to contest that shot. And
you said Kings, Jeremy Grant?
Right now, the Kings only have, it's like HB and Keegan, with how, I wouldn't say limited they are, but with them not being freaks of nature, essentially, they can really only pick one. It's either you help out in the paint or you protect the perimeter. It feels like they don't have the necessary length to really do both, unless you're, like you're saying, absolutely dead on perfect on your rotations. And even then, sometimes everybody can hit a contested shot in the NBA. Like, sometimes you do just get unlucky. And so it's a little bit tough. But yes, I did bring up Jeremy Grant.
A couple months ago, when the Magic went berserk,
right? Yep.
That was a game where we thought, all right, they're doing this. This is honestly, this is out of the norm. Bad luck, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. But then when you see a team like the Cavs, like you said, the numbers don't lie, 39% from three. You know what the Cavs shot from three yesterday?
I do.
56%.
Yeah. Insane.
56%.
Yeah. And that's where you can argue, like, that's better than just like that it has to have an element of you're just hitting on that.
But is that part of the confidence?
Rhythm, right?
Because there were some late in the game, those closeouts on Karis LeVert weren't bad.
Yeah.
But once you've already been cooking,
gotten going,
and you've already got your confidence up, that hand is a waste of time.
Right. It's doing the work early, right? It's getting those body blows in early, and that's why it's so important. And that's why, all the time we talk about the Kings getting off to an early big lead, because that signifies you're stopping the team from getting into a rhythm early in the game and forcing them to kind of create their own momentum. And it's really tough for any team to do that. But it feels like the Kings, doesn't matter who they play, even the Detroit Pistons, like we talked about that game where the Kings ended up, of course, handily winning that game, but they allowed the Pistons to get into a rhythm. And that's how you allow yourself to get into bad situations where you lose to, we're going to bring it up continually, but you lose to the Blazers. You lose.
We're still bringing that up.
Yeah, man.
They went 5-1 on this road trip. Why are you bringing up all stuff?
We're playing great basketball right now. But if we're talking about why the Kings in general have struggled to defend the perimeter, it's because they let any team get into a rhythm. And at some point, I mean, you're going to you say their offense is their defense. At some point, they're going to have to play some defense. And I don't think that's the reason why they lost yesterday, but it definitely could have helped. It felt like yesterday they did a great job of just staying feisty. They continued to keep it. Even when they were down 20, they cut it back down to 13. And it felt like the lead kind of stayed between 10 and 15 points for a large portion of the first three quarters. And then after a while, they didn't have another comeback in them, because they were on game 7 of the longest road trip of the season. And that's what's going to happen. Your legs are eventually going to give out. And, maybe if you could have said, if they could have, made some stops or not let Cleveland get into a rhythm early, none of that happens. But I don't think yesterday is a game where, to your point earlier, I just don't think it's really something that we need to be too upset about, harp on, stew over. I think that it's just, they ran into a buzzsaw and they gave a really good effort, but at the end of the day, it was not meant to be with where they were situated in their schedule.
No. And, let us not forget the Kings did beat the Cavs earlier this season at home. So the Cavs had a little bit of extra juice there. So yeah, I don't really have a problem with it. We'll get more into the Kings and looking back on their road trip when we get back from the break. Super Bowl opening night, as we mentioned, and I already have FOMO, but there were a lot of funny quotes. You had Brock Purdy doing the he did a SpongeBob impression.
What?
Yes,
I didn't
he had
hear
a
that.
SpongeBob impression. No. You had somebody ask Patrick Mahomes to do Kermit the Frog, and Patrick Mahomes says, "That's me talking right now." So a lot of funny things. Also, as we discussed, Charvarius Ward had a quote last week that had some people a bit upset, talking about ready to turn up on the first day or two. And we're wondering if his coach also decided to do the same. We are not going to say for certain.
No.
But there is something going around that maybe, and we have audio that maybe, just maybe, Kyle Shanahan enjoyed some beverages. Maybe. We do not know. We're going to play the audio. And if that was the case, does it bother you? I saw a lot of Niner fans saying, hey, the game is 6 days away.
Sure is.
You got the X's and O's. You're just at media availability. He's not the one running. Is there a problem? I saw other Niner fans saying, you've already lost to Andy Reid. You actually haven't beat Andy Reid. This is not the time for that. So we have the audio. Like we said, we don't know. We don't know what was in his coffee cup. Okay, we don't know anything. But it was going around, and all those videos, all that audio, that was being pushed around throughout all the socials last night. And a lot of people thought maybe he had a little sipperton. We don't know. But we will play that audio for you as well and have you decide for yourself. There's also more A's drama going on because if the day ends in day, Tuesday, there's more A's drama. So we have that sound. The mayor of Las Vegas has some things to say. So we'll get into all of that. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we are looking back on the Kings road trip. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The San Francisco 49ers, the Kansas City Chiefs. It's Super Bowl LVIII, live from Las Vegas, Sunday, February 11th on Sactown Sports.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The power's out at our house. Coffee table. But since our family has storm-ready Wi-Fi from Xfinity, we can stream or game in the dark. As I try and feel around for a seat. Here we go. Oh, who moved the couch?
Get storm-ready Wi-Fi only from Xfinity, so you can stay connected for up to 4 hours, even when the power goes out. Restrictions apply. Limited to customers within range of 4G LTE cellular signal. Speeds reduced to 30/7 megabits per second. Actual speeds vary. Learn more at xfinity.com/stormready.
Sactown Sports will be road tripping to Vegas to cover the big game. Brought to you by Jiffy Lube, your place to take your car before your next road trip.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
As people like to joke with me, here's a question now. And Chris Verlad, who I don't think you've been a part of this, Chris can get in on this too, as Nate is preparing for our trip, doing a bunch of operations. Okay. Nate, operation stuff. So we come in with Childish Gambino. Yeah. I got the fresh cut. Okay. So I'm not normally a scraggly. If I'm in Vegas, it's Operation Get to a Celebrity basketball game. Right. It's Operation maybe find myself a Super Bowl ticket. If somebody says, hey, are you Childish Gambino? Yeah. I got to say yes, right?
Yes. Yeah. Have to. Yeah, we got to get you some like flowy clothes though. He always got like some eccentric, like, you know.
And just as a heads up, whenever someone says, "Are you?" you always say yes.
Yes. If somebody asks for a
especially
picture,
especially in Vegas,
right, right, because now, hey, loved you in the new Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. It was great. Appreciate it was great working on that. Yeah. Catch me in the new 21 Savage movie.
There you go.
One of my favorite things is if I go someplace outside of California and they're like, "Oh, where are you from? Sacramento? Oh, are you close to the beach?" Yep. You see Hollywood stars all the time? All the time.
All the time. Oh, you're from Sacramento? Oh, I got a buddy in San Diego. Maybe you know him. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, probably.
10 hours away.
Yeah. Same.
So if I get Childish, I'm taking it home.
You got to run with that for sure. That could definitely get you. That can get you somewhere for sure. I mean, he's blown up recently. So you could definitely at least get into. We can
with
definitely
with
situation
Jay.
maybe some,
Jay says,
especially
"Hey,
with Jay too.
I got Josh Gambino."
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, don't do that.
Don't do that. Yeah, you lost it. You lost it.
No,
Just
like,
be quiet.
get him outta here.
Just be quiet. Just put some shades on.
Yeah,
and just like,
yeah.
Just
Jay's
like throw your head up.
"Hey,
every
just keep it down, man.
Just
Just keep it down."
yeah.
As we
Just need to
talk,
get you in.
yeah, as we talk Kings, and they finished their, I would call, a very successful road trip. They were 1 win away from being part of rare air with 2. If it's the 2016 Warriors,
right,
that means they didn't win. That's just that because it would be the 2017 Warriors. That was the KD, the first KD Warriors.
Yes,
so
correct.
the best regular season in NBA history,
Pretty
also
much,
during the Spurs dynasty as well. They were 1 win away from joining that group, and they ran into a buzzsaw. But to look back on the road trip, the Kings beat the Warriors, they beat the Mavericks, they beat the Grizzlies, they lost to the Heat, beat the Pacers, beat the Bulls on a back-to-back, and then lose to the Cavs. I would say the most impressive win, and we talked a little bit about this yesterday, most impressive win to me would have to be the Pacers. Sure. Even though they were coming off a back-to-back, the Mavericks didn't have Kyrie. They were coming off a back-to-back. The Warriors just aren't doing it for me today. And I hate to poke holes in this stretch.
I think stylistically, I like the Warriors game the most.
Yeah.
But there is the caveat of the Warriors are not the same. That just doesn't hold the same weight as it has in the past.
Beat the Nets last night.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They look great. The future is looking bright with pods, so that's fantastic for Warrior fans. Kaminga, boy Kaminga continues.
I'm telling you,
2010 performances
I'm
left
telling
and right.
you.
I'm like, I might have to have a meeting with some people.
Well, you know what?
About our takes. What's up?
You remember what we talked about when I was in Pennsylvania?
No,
I had a little situation going on with
that's right.
Kaminga most improved.
That's right. I
Malik sixth man. I think we're back in action.
That's true. Yeah, you are back in action.
I think we're back in action.
It could happen. I don't know. Most improved. He's still got some work to do, but he's top 3 for sure, which is at the very least all that you can ask for. He's definitely putting up some numbers. But yeah, I think just in terms of the best game the Kings played, it feels like that Warriors game was a true test. Like the Warriors gave them their A game, whatever their A game is these days. It was their best effort, and the fact that the Kings, I feel like, typically would lose that kind of game. I feel okay saying that was their best win of the road trip, and I don't. It might say something about the quality of the road trip, but I still think that all things considered, taking a game from that Warriors team when they played the way that they did, they hit shots at an incredible rate as well. Like I think that still should qualify as the best win.
Yeah, I'm with you, because from the Warriors side of things, I feel that they use the Kings because they know they always play so well against the Kings. I always call it a palate cleanser. You ever had sushi, right? And then you got the wasabi, the ginger.
Yep.
The Kings are the ginger, the ginger for the Warriors. Okay, let's hit the reset button. We beat the Kings. They're the little brothers. We're back on track. And I think the Kings know that. Get that bad taste. And as long as we can beat the Kings, we can get back on track. And the Kings said, that's not happening anymore. That's not happening anymore. It didn't happen in Sacramento for the in-season tournament. And then it didn't happen about a couple weeks ago. And then on top of that, it really shouldn't have happened when the first time the Kings went to Chase Center and took a Clay last-second shot. So really the Kings have basically taken care of business against the Warriors this season. And I'm with you. I could see that, because that Warriors team that they played is not the normal Warriors team, right? So you have to count it differently. They're always going to get the Warriors.
It's crazy. It's unfair.
Best shot. And the Pacers, you didn't have a full Halliburton. I thought it was a great call by Whitey during the crossover about the 20-minute thing, which is just a complete mess.
Yes.
And
it
as much
makes
as
it worse.
It does make it worse, because you could just tell Halliburton looked off. Yeah. What am I doing here? When is the last time Halliburton came off the bench? She's just thinking, what's going on here? The Bulls game, I think it could have been better. Could have been their most dominant performance. Absolutely. And then they kind of tricked it off at the end. Yeah. And, we had a discussion yesterday about if the Cavs could win this game or if the Kings could win this game against the Cavs, that would really say, wow, okay, they are really rolling. couldn't get it done. And, there's just levels to this. And the Cavs, that's now 14 of 15 that they're taking care of. And I think the Cavs, one thing I read, the Kings got a lot of teams off of their back-to-backs. They got the Pacers off their back-to-back. They got the Mavs off their back. I think they may have gotten the Grizzlies off their back-to-back too. And the Cavs, they got on the front end. I believe the Cavs play again tonight. Or no, they play tomorrow. So the Cavs just weren't in the middle of anything. But I'm not taking anything away from the Kings. No. But I will say that if you do look at what the Kings did, even though it was good as far as the record is concerned, if you look back on it, and we'll talk to Brendan Nunez about this more at 12 o'clock, doesn't change my thought process on whether they need to make a move or not.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't. It should. Everything should remain the same at this point in terms of your thought process on if the Kings should make a move. I think that, going 5-2 is fantastic. Like, I think they said on the broadcast after the win in Chicago that's tied now for the most wins they've gotten on a 7-game road trip. So that's not something that we should just blow through. I mean, this team is really good. Before last night, they were sitting at 10 games above 500. They're a really solid squad, but I just think that we've known this for like 2.5 months now. It feels like we've been talking about how this team is just flawed. Like, if they are a good team, they can definitely beat bad opponents. They can compete against certain good teams depending on what kind of matchup they present. But if they want to just be a universal tough team against any team they go against, they've got to make a couple moves that just make them a little bit more versatile and just give them a little bit different options in terms of style of play. And until they make those moves, which I don't know if they're going to make any, it feels like they're just going to make some small moves here at the deadline. Until they do that, I mean, I just don't see much of a growth from this team. I don't see the internal growth that they banked on at the start of the season blossoming any more than what we've already seen.
The Kings, during this road trip, the team in the best position that they beat was if I'm not mistaken,
probably
it was
Dallas, right?
It was, the Pacers are 6.
Pacers, right. There you go.
Dallas is 8. So it was the Pacers off a back-to-back with half a Halliburton. A half a Burton.
Right.
That's what it was.
So they're all teams below them in the standings.
And honestly, that's why last night was really important to me. Sure. And from the aspect of whether you should feel comfortable not making a move or not.
Yeah.
If they beat the Cavs, who were red hot in Cleveland, and just put a stamp on that road trip, then I'd say, okay, maybe you don't need to make a move.
Right.
But this is what we've seen from the Kings, right? They're just good. They're good enough to beat the teams that they're supposed to. But when they get up against these elite teams, specifically in the East, they don't have it. And as far as the West is concerned, the problem is, you're going to get another test against the Nuggets because they have not played the Nuggets at full strength, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
They didn't have Jamal Murray.
They didn't have Jamal.
Then you also have the Thunder, who you've had the Thunder's number. That's the one team that I think they did beat the T-Wolves. I know the T-Wolves were missing somebody. The Kings were also missing. The Kings were also missing Keegan. But then you lost when you were at pretty much full strength, and the T-Wolves didn't have Cat. So the problem is this all happens after the trade deadline. So it doesn't really matter what you do because you're stuck with who you got. Got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing to break down the Kings and the possible trades as they are running out of time. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The 49ers earned the NFC's top seed.
On the first play of the game, CMC Dynamite!
Join all of our shows. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles, and Watkins. And the Drive Guys as they follow their quest for a 6th Super Bowl title.
Pressured right away by Young and sacked by Eric Armstead.
Sactown Sports is your home for San Francisco 49ers football.
San Francisco!
The new year is here at Folsom Lake Kia. Shop my favorite dealer, Folsom Lake Kia, for low interest rates, low payment with zero down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia for over 25 years right here in Sacramento.
It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Hey, Joe Montana here. Back in my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia, a bacterial lung disease that can be life-threatening. If you're 65 or older or 19 or older with certain chronic conditions like diabetes or asthma, you're at increased risk. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination and learn more at knowpneumonia.com. That's KNOW pneumonia.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in zone.
So what if I need a new one? No problem. We have the right battery for your car, starting at only $89.99.
Get in zone.
And what about my old battery? We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Yeah, I caught my first fish, Dad.
Great job, buddy. He's a beauty.
Thanks for taking me fishing. Love you, Dad.
I love you too, son.
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive and you could use the savings to make sure the boat's always ready for those magical father-son moments. Who knows, maybe someday he'll actually like fishing. So keep the dream alive and the savings coming with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain, very intense, can make your eyes water. It makes you walk funny because you're trying to get pressure off your heel. I had instability. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I was driving past the Good Feet store. I mean, why not? Give it a try.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure they fitted me with the right thing. And so they brought out several different arch supports and gave me the opportunity to try them in shoes and walk around with them until they found the perfect ones for my feet. I had no idea that they would be that patient, and I had no idea they would be that kind. And you just knew, like, your feet, just when they got on the right ones, they were like, oh yeah. And it really did make a big difference. It made my foot not hurt. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Time is ticking for the Kings And all the trades from Yahoo Sports to Bleacher Report to ESPN, all the speculation, and nothing has happened yet. The trade deadline is February 8th. It is in 2 days. 2 days, Chris Watkins, and it feels like you are closer to my side of things to where the big boy isn't going to happen. Zach LaVine, off. At this point, the Bulls are still asking for the equivalent of 2 first-rounders. Yeah. That's not going to happen.
No.
Dorian Finney-Smith, that was a couple weeks ago. He was worth 2 first-rounders. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think any of this is going to happen.
I'm not I feel like the Zach LaVine thing is probably not going to happen just because that price is so high, but who knows? I mean, I do think that in a weird way, the Lakers and the Warriors are the ones who kind of hold the keys to how explosive this trade deadline is going to be. And the Sixers, I think, to an extent. But I think the Joel Embiid injury complicates things for them a little bit in terms of how aggressive they want to be. But of course, I mean, so much has been talked about. I mean, if you turn on ESPN, they're going to be talking about the Lakers. They have the Rui Hachimura piece. They have the D'Angelo Russell piece. And it's kind of much like we've kind of had discussions of, hey, are the Kings willing to trade Malik? It seems like their Malik Monk is Austin Reeves, where they understand that, that's probably the player that if you're allowing any team to pick and choose who they want, not named LeBron and AD, it's probably going to be him. And they're going to have to decide, okay, we know we need to make a move, but is it okay to do it at the expense of this guy that we really like on a good contract that we just signed? I don't think so. I don't think the Lakers are going to end up pulling that trigger. I think they really like Austin Reeves. I think they think it's a great contract. I think they're probably going to move one of Rui or D'Lo, and I don't know what they're going to look to get, but I think once that happens and everyone understands that there's not going to be some big splash, I think that's probably when all the little small deals get done, and all of those will probably get done within the last 24 to 48 hours of the deadline. So I still think that it's going to be pretty active. I don't think it's going to be as big or as headlining as what I should say, not you, because you've been on your side, what I expected to see, but I still think that we're going to see some moves done. It's just not going to be very exciting.
Yeah. And look, if you peel the layers back here, got to remember that 16 years, you just made the playoffs. Right. This thing isn't going to get turned around in 2 years, and they don't want to risk blowing something up just because some people, part of the microwave society, think that they're going to be able to pull this thing off in just a couple, in just a couple years here. Real quick, the most improved player odds, I have them up right now. The problem is, so Kuminga is 4th. The problem is, in these names, you're going to say, yeah, you're cooked, because first place odds is Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, you're cooked.
Şengün is 2nd.
Yeah, you're done. You're
and Kobe
so
White is 3rd, who he maybe could catch Kobe, but you're not catching Maxey.
You're not. Yeah, you're just not, especially with Joel. I think they said Joel's going to be out at least a month. So Maxey's probably going to put on. Şengün's, he's quieted down a bit. I'm surprised he didn't get all-star. There was also no all-star. Maybe it's because Sabonis was such a more obvious snub, but there was I can't believe Şengün didn't make the all-star game, because there was a lot of hype around him, especially early in the year when the Rockets were playing well. But yeah, you're not going to get that, buddy. I'm sorry. That's going to be an L for you, but it's good. It would have to take, the
Sixers falling off a cliff.
It would take, the Sixers falling off a cliff.
And the Warriors getting into the playoffs with Kuminga as a 2.
I think if Kuminga does this the rest of the year, you have a shot, even if regardless of what Maxey does. If Kuminga really turns from a 7 point per game scorer to 18, 17,
it would be a bigger
18,
jump.
It'd be really big. And if it leads to any sort of significance for the Warriors, or if he gets traded, you maybe you should be secretly rooting for a Kuminga trade so that he can go to some other situation and just take off completely. He can be the number one option on the. They probably won't send anybody else to Detroit, but I don't know.
I might be cooking here. So the 6th man of the year, odds.
Yeah, what are those looking like these days?
Right now, Tim Hardaway
of course,
is 1.
Yep. Yeah.
Malik Monk is 2.
Really? You got a big Hardaway's playing really, really well off the bench for Dallas. He's like routinely putting up 20, but there's a shot. There's a good chance.
We do prop talk here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what you're talking about. I've never seen, all I'm going to say is I've never seen it with Tim Hardaway with prop talk. That's how I'm going to say this.
Tim Hardaway's my guy. I can't.
Really?
Yes.
He's cut
Tim
off
Hardaway
to me.
Jr.
No, he's
for a really long
he's
time.
cut off to me in prop talk. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with Malik Monk and Jonathan Kuminga as we get into the Kings and continuing to talk about the trades that haven't happened, the trades that might still happen. Look, I think the Bulls are going to get a little bit desperate here. I just don't know what. Like I said, I was watching NBA TV yesterday, and they're saying that they think it's going to be DeRozan who moves because he has the expiring contract.
Right. Makes sense.
I don't think the Kings need a DeRozan.
They could use some free throws.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Right.
I wouldn't hate it, but it also isn't really like he's a good player, but it's just, I don't know if that's
they're talking about bringing
one.
him off the bench at this point for an elite team.
That's crazy. I mean, maybe like LA makes the Lakers more specifically makes sense for him there. I know I believe he's from Compton as well. So I think that would be a nice little homecoming for DeRozan, who's talked about playing in LA before. And that might be able to get a deal done with one of those, like I said, that Hachimura, that D'Lo piece. You might be able to do something with the Bulls because, like you said, if DeRozan's on an expiring contract, I mean, what use do they have? If it's good to at least get, a dollar figure or a player that you can maybe use, I could see that happening. It'd be unfortunate because it'd be good for the Lakers, but I could see it happening. And allegedly, I saw this morning that Rob Pelinka allegedly can't get off the phone. He's been on his phone for like the past week. And
you see Rich Paul in the building last night?
I sure did.
Rich Paul was in the building.
He sure was in the building. I know.
Why would he be?
Well, he's from Cleveland, of course. That's why.
Does he live in Cleveland?
I'm sure he's got a nice residence in
but
Cleveland.
Why would he be there?
Well, because one of his biggest clients, De'Aaron Fox, is in town.
Well,
of course,
he's trying to make sure De'Aaron.
I actually have no idea.
Is okay, but he was in the building
question.
last night. Looking at the odds here, or excuse me, the standings in the Western Conference. The Lakers are in play. This is where they were last season in that play-in position. They're the 9 seed. Mavericks are the 8 seed. Pelicans 7. Suns 6. Kings 5. Kings are up a half game on the Suns, and they're gonna go do battle in 3 games or so.
Isn't it so weird how the Pelicans just why do they kill the Kings but can't figure it out against everybody else?
Yeah, and by the way, speaking of the Pelicans,
crazy yesterday too.
11:30 we will do a special edition of Fair or Foul.
Yes,
since we probably won't get to it Friday, and the Pelicans. And Chris's boy Alvarado is part of the Fair Foul for what he did. So we will have that conversation at 11:30. The big difference is the 4 seed with 16 losses. That's the Nuggets, and the Kings at the 5 seed with 20.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's crazy. It's like the first four seeds, to your point, the Nuggets are half game out of being the number 1 seed right now. It's so close. And I talked about it, I feel like a couple weeks ago, where it was the time of the year where people really the tiers of teams really start to separate themselves. And now it's really clear. It's those first 4 seeds. Like I said, they're all separated by a half of a game. And then it's the 5 through 7 seeds. The Kings, Suns, and Pelicans are all within half a game of each other. And then it's really the 8 through 10 seed, or the 8 through 12, I guess you could say. The Mavericks, Lakers, Jazz, Rockets, and Warriors are all really within 3.5 games of each other. So it's just really, it feels like the Kings at any moment, and that's why we're saying now things are good. The Kings went 5-2 on the road trip. That definitely helps keep them up there. But as they play the Nuggets 3 more times this month, and as they play, I think the Timberwolves are March 1st. There's a couple tougher matchups along the Kings' path here. There's a chance that they could still end up in this play-in.
Yeah,
a really good chance.
Not out of the woods at all.
Not at all.
And what's crazy is the Warriors are the 12th seed and the Grizzlies are 13th, who have been playing with the G League roster for majority of the season.
Yes.
If you're the Warriors, I think your main goal at this point is to get into the play-in.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You do a deal that gets you into the play-in, and you hope that next season you figure it out.
Yep. Yeah.
You make another deal in the summer, and you go last hoorah with Steph.
Yeah, you try and like mini Lakers what they did last year. Where it's
exactly.
Like, just
the
make us a little
team.
bit more competitive. And we're the team that no one wants to play, right? Especially in a one-game elimination in the play-in.
Which is another reason why the Kings need to stay far away from the play-in. You could be in there with the Pelicans and the Warriors and the Lakers. And these are going to be revamped besides the Pelicans because they just can't get rolling besides against the Kings. These are going to be revamped teams that are going to head into try to really just separate the seasons and say, this is a brand new season and make a run there. All right. Got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing the conversation on the Kings as we look forward to their tough February. Also got some A's talk with the mayor of Las Vegas. You won't believe what she had to say about the A's. And Charvarius Ward is ready to turn up. Was his coach ready too? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Group is not a law firm. This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo, with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. Plus line dancing, a mechanical bull, and Sacramento's best food trucks. One-day tickets are on sale now, starting at $46, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more info, visit CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by Hubble Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
It was 1879 when the first President's Day was established, and it's been a holiday ever since. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. I'm guessing when the Keys family opened the first Naturewood Home Furnishing store in 1948, a President's Day sale was not top of the mind. But the family probably celebrated the holiday with a picnic and a big slice of cherry pie. The store name Naturewood was selected to reflect the quality of the wood furniture for sale, and that focus on quality continues today with brands like FlexSteel, Trailway, Stickley, Fusion Designs, Stanton, and many, many more. The Naturewood Home Furnishings President's Day sale is the perfect time for you to find the right accent piece for your living room, a new bed for your bedroom, or to completely refurnish your entire home. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's President's Day sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. Naturewood Home Furnishings off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Ace on the track.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Pet peeves. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Pet peeves when flying. Okay.
Oh, I got one.
Let's hear it.
I mean, it's the obvious one, but and I'm curious. Well, we'll see.
I know what you're going to say.
People standing up.
Yeah.
I mean, when the flight is over, it's just like, just wait for your row to file out, and then there's a very clear system. There's no point in standing in the back of the plane and just waiting for everybody to like clear out. Just sit down and wait. I don't understand why everyone's in such a hurry to get nowhere. Doesn't make any sense to me, ever.
Yeah. I don't get the standing either.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Sometimes the non-standers, they wait too long. And then it's your time. Because once it starts going, it does start going. And now I'm waiting for. I don't want to be waiting.
No, you got to be ready. Yeah, definitely. There's an appropriate time to be ready. Like you should have your stuff by the time it's your time to go. But it's just but more so. I mean, I typically don't. We lucked out with the boarding passes.
Right.
But typically, I'm like the C20 or something like that. So I'm in the back anyway, and I'm just like, y'all, we are all stuck back here. There's no point in standing. Just relax. It makes me anxious. I'm like, just sit there. Like where are we trying to go so quickly right now?
Yeah, the standing is a lot. The people who look, if your baby is crying, that's fine. I've literally been there. But if I don't hear you shushing, if I don't hear you attempting to fix the problem, and I know certain people, there are different, I guess, ideas and philosophies when it comes to babies crying. I don't care about that on the plane. If you're in a public space, because some people, hey, we don't shush our baby. We let the baby cry it out, figure it out.
Sure.
That's cool at home.
Yeah.
But in a public place, I need to hear an
Common
attempt.
courtesy. Okay.
I need to hear an attempt at shushing. There's that one as well. There is I don't really mind if somebody wants to strike up a conversation. I don't do it. I'm a talker, but not on a plane. Let's just get where we need to go.
Do you care about seating at all? Aisle seat.
I got to be on the aisle.
Okay.
Got to be on the aisle. I feel claustrophobic.
I was like, is that an anxiety? Like, is that like,
I'm a good
flyer.
I'm a good flyer, but I need my situation.
Okay.
Right. So I'm a good flyer, but I need to be on the aisle. I need my pilot telling us what are we getting into. There are high winds lately.
Right. Oh,
Let me know so I know what I'm getting into.
Right.
Talk me through it, and I'm a good flyer. If we're just and nowadays I almost never get a plane with a screen on it. That just never happens.
Never.
But you know what'll happen?
No.
When I go to Philly, I get no screen. 6 hours.
Yeah.
We'll go to Vegas today, 45 minutes, I'll have a screen.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get to watch the beginning credits of a movie, and then we'll get there.
Yeah, I'll knock out a couple Sudokus real quick, and then by the time we're done, we'll be landing. So.
You are hitting we are hitting our cruising altitude. Yes. 10 minutes later, we are beginning our descent.
Exactly. Nate, you got any? I feel like
None.
I would not clock Nate as like an excellent flyer. I feel like he's a little bit nervous. On flights.
Nate's busy. He's doing things, man. Oh, okay. He's getting us ready. He's putting together the studio.
A little nervous, to be honest.
Have you been on a plane before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's reassuring.
I'm not sitting next to him. I'm not sitting next to Nate.
I'll go in the back.
Nate's the type who just grabs.
You don't want to go in the back.
Armrest.
I'm pretty sure. Well, first of all, the back takes longer to get out.
Right.
And second of all, I think it's bumpier in the back. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, definitely.
The bumps get you.
Sometimes too, I don't know how I always end up on the wing seats. Okay. Those are a little sketchy because you see the wings sometimes flapping.
Yeah, and like there's like a layer of the wing that pops up. I'm thinking, are we good here?
This is gonna crack.
Did we check any? By the way, there's a show or a couple different shows on It's called How Planes Crash. Have you seen that on national?
No, I haven't seen
but
that.
Why? But who
would I
wants to watch that?
Yeah, no.
But who wants to watch that though?
Nobody. I guess maybe the same people who, I mean, I love Shark Week, but like it doesn't, I'm not going to watch Shark Week the week before I go to Hawaii. Like I maybe it's the same crossover.
Who wants to watch? Who watches that show?
I don't know.
916-339-1140. Do you watch Why Planes Crash? And if so, why?
It's on Nat Geo, you said?
It's on one of them.
Oh my God.
Every time I see it, I think, why would I want to do this to myself? From Ryan Williams Art, pet peeves when flying. Don't break out in applause when you land. You did nothing. You just sat there all flight. You didn't just beat a hard level in Super Mario or something. But I think they're applauding the pilot. The pilot.
Yeah, which is also bro, this is why you get
regular.
Paid. Yeah.
I mean, if we weren't applauding, I think we'd be in a bad situation. We'd be on a featured movie.
Yeah, it's doing way too much. It's almost patronizing. It's like come on.
Like, and he can't hear you.
Also,
he also can't hear you. Keep the plane and the flying pet peeves in. I actually love airports because it's just there's so much hope. Right, you're going to a new place. I love airports. I love hotels. There's so much hope in the air.
Hope.
You know, you're getting ready to go somewhere. What? There's just so much hope in the air.
There's so much wonder.
Yes, you don't know what's going to happen during your trip. You're just so excited. There's just so much hope and wonder.
I'm gonna think
because
about that.
You're just gonna see me with the biggest smile on my face, even on the way back.
So much hope.
Now
That's
it's time
beautiful.
to go back home.
No, I hear what
it's
you're
been
saying.
a great trip. There's just so much. The ambiance is just great. You don't care about prices. Thank you, Bonneville. You don't care about prices on anything because you already know you're going to spend it. Oh my gosh! But then you complain anyway. Oh my gosh, that burger is $25, but it's our burger. And it's our overpriced burger.
And I'll think about this.
And
this
I'll
will
think
forever
about this.
remind me of this trip.
And we'll complain about it, and then we'll forget about it. It's just great.
I just have never in my life thought, wow, the Sacramento airport.
It's just
so much hope here.
So much hope.
So much hope and wonder.
It is.
Looking for excitement and dreams. No.
It is. I love, you know, you see the stores and you wonder
insane.
Who's buying this suit in the
I
airport.
Think about that
which
all
that
the
might
time.
be me. That might be me. Ooh, who forgot headphones and is going to this
$80?
Yes, to the expensive
vending machines?
The vending machine headphones.
Yeah.
I need these $80 Beat headphones because I forgot mine. That's gonna be Whitey. Because Whitey keeps complaining about his headphones are burning his ears, and all of a sudden we're gonna see Whitey purchasing $80 Beats, right? Here you go.
Are you a neck pillow guy?
I'm not a neck pillow guy. No, I just
eye cover.
No, I'm good by myself.
Okay.
I just throw on one of my app baseball games and which doesn't need any Wi-Fi or anything like that. Be sure I don't know if you're Apple Music or Spotify, but you got to download all your new music. That you're ready for, because that Wi-Fi in the airport rarely works.
It's trash.
So if you think you're going to download your new stuff there from the 209, you guys should start clapping every time you come back from break.
Right. Yes.
Well, we do that. We didn't do that today because that crossover was about 2 minutes. But normally we do clap when we get into the crossover with Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Yeah, I think that's because they're glad that the show is pretty much over at that point. And it's like we're just like every time we see us, we're like a human version of like a beam or something. Like, the game's over. We did it. We won.
That's right. Here you go. From Pike 916, he's talking about it's a show of appreciation when you clap at the end. Maybe if it was a bumpy ride, if
if it's like, thank you for actually saving our lives.
Yes.
But if it's just like, you don't clap at the, when you get off your stop at a bus station or something, thank you, bus driver. Appreciate you for your timely stops and making sure we all get to work on time. Like, no.
But do you clap at the end of movies?
Yeah, but that's a performance.
What's the difference?
It's a performance.
He performed a job.
Okay, then our hands are gonna get. Then why don't you clap at McDonald's every time your waiter?
You could. Why not? They want you to tip
because they're going to get upset at you.
Why?
Because it's my job. Don't clap at me for doing.
That's an actor's job.
Just clap at a bartender next time they drop your drink.
That's an actor's job to perform. Instead of tipping something, so everybody, this tip culture, everybody's complaining about tip culture. Right. How about instead of tipping, right? Because, all you did was turn around a tablet, whatever. How about you just clap for them? Maybe they would appreciate that. Thank you.
Good luck with that. Go pay your bills with some clapping. I don't work out.
I'm just saying, maybe do both. Maybe do both. Here you go. So. Ryan Williams, I don't clap for doing your job. I say thank you when I walk by the cabin. Yes. Gotta say thank you.
More than acceptable.
Gotta say thank you. And sometimes I feel like I'm thanking the co-pilot, if the pilot's busy. All of you. I'm thanking all of you.
Yes.
Thank you.
There's
thank
no
you
problem with
for the
showing
conversation.
It's
you didn't know that, but we were having a conversation. I was talking back to you every time you asked, or every time you told us what was going on. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, the mayor of Las Vegas says something about the A's that you would not expect, or maybe you would. Stiles and Watkins, and we have Chris Biederman coming up. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Titleist is introducing the next generation of AVX golf balls. It's for players looking for low-flying, low-spinning golf balls with a very soft feel and excellent greenside control. Re-engineered from core to cover with exceptional distance and extraordinary feel, the new AVX is even better. It's available in white and high optic yellow. Titleist also is introducing the new Tour Soft golf balls. A new larger core increases distance off the tee while providing an incredible soft feel on every shot. Golfers who tee up Tour Soft are looking for soft feel and performance throughout the bag. Play it in white, high optic yellow, or green. True Feel is the softest Titleist ball, offering penetrating ball flight and distance from a unique spherically tiled dimple design. It's for players who prioritize soft feel and trust the quality and consistency of the Titleist brand. Another reason why Titleist is the #1 ball in golf. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can. Thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Just go to newnordicusa.com or visit Walgreens or Amazon to purchase. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at newnordicusa.com.
The NBA All-Star Game revs up in Indy.
This is going to be a blast.
Coming there soon. Oh, you did it. Yes, you did. The world's best ballers show out in Circle City. It's All-Star Weekend's grand finale.
You know I've been airborne.
As the game returns to East versus West in a clash for conference bragging rights.
It's an honor to be selected to the All-Star Game.
Coverage of the 2024 NBA All-Star Game presented by Kia begins February 18th on TNT.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
When the unexpected happens, trust AutoAccident.com. Loyalty and compassion set them apart. They're with you every step of the way. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTK AM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports. local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
We are joined by Chris Biederman, Sacramento Bee, and the Candlestick Chronicles. Chris, thank you for joining us. Doesn't look like you're in Vegas, but maybe you're at a or something. Chris, before we get into all things Niners and Kings, what is your pet peeve when you fly? Do you clap? Okay. Do you stand up early? Does it bother you? Give us a pet peeve or something you don't like when you are flying.
I'm out on reclining the seat. I'm about 6'1". I often travel in coach. Don't often upgrade to the more premium legroom sections. I get an exit row whenever I can, but I'm very much I don't like when people recline the seat on me, so I don't recline the seat on anybody else. I'm hoping karma pays me off that way, but I'm just out. So I got my pillow, and when I need to sleep, I'm sleeping sitting up. It's not the most comfortable thing, but I think karma's going to be on my side with that one.
All right, that's fair enough. Now, seriously though, are you not going to be in Vegas?
I'm not going to be in Vegas.
Okay.
I'll be traveling to Oklahoma City. I'll be doing Kings Thunder on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we'll be doing the podcast afterwards anyway. Also, so.
All righty. Well, we will send you our regards. Oklahoma City, Vegas, not too different in my estimation.
I mean, it's one and the same, basically. Bricktown, the Strip,
exactly. Blue collar, all those types of things. Chris. Give us your thoughts on the Kings and this road trip. Chris and I, we weren't trying to poke holes in it, and it was a very solid road trip. One win away from joining some rare air with the elite Spurs and Warriors teams. Don't get it done. And if you look at, I think the reason you can't really poke holes in it is because there have probably been easier road trips in the past, and teams haven't played this well. But if you do look at some of these teams, Chris, you said they are 13-14 against teams over 500. Yep. So they're beating up teams that they should. And then the game last night, you can't be mad at them for losing, but it would have been really nice to get that W to end the road trip.
Yeah, and just, what are the things we always talk about with the Kings, right? It's usually defense, it's usually physicality, and with the way Cleveland was able to score efficiently, obviously that's not something the Kings would want. I would say overall, though, it was a solid road trip, 5-2 over a 7-game trip. That includes some East Coast cities. That's pretty solid for them. And Harrison Barnes has gotten going a little bit lately. Domantas Sabonis continues to light up the stat sheet. So overall, I would say that's a really good sign for them. And they're through a portion of their schedule. I forget exactly what the numbers were, but it was, they've had 2 pretty long road trips here, and they're on a pretty good streak in terms of what the record's been over the month of January and now leading into February. So overall, I would say it's about as solid of a trip as it could be. And look, like, this all comes right before the deadline, right? And they're given how the Kings have been talked about. So many movable pieces, right? And you wonder, is human nature ever going to set in? And are these guys ever going to read too much into the rumors and everything like that? And is that going to cause them to play poorly? No, we haven't really seen it. Kevin Huerter's been a little bit better lately. Harrison Barnes, obviously, his scoring's up. These are guys who have been mentioned in trade rumors. So the fact that they're not slumping and they're actually playing better than they did earlier in the season would indicate a level of professionalism, and that these guys don't feel like they're pressing because they might be on the trade block. So overall, I think those are positive developments for the Kings.
Yeah, Chris, I mean, in general, it's something we've been kind of tossing back and forth. Do you feel like the Kings' success, like just overall in terms of getting the results, and the fact that, like you said there, Harrison Barnes has played a lot better, and Kevin Huerter as well has kind of started to become a little bit more normal in terms of what we've come to expect from him. Do you think that their recent success in general plays a factor into how they will approach this deadline?
Yeah, I think so. I also just don't know that there's a deal out there that makes a whole lot of sense for them, right? Like their best trade chip is Keegan Murray, and they're very clearly not gonna trade Keegan for anything that's out there right now. And I don't know how interested the Kings were ever really in Zach LaVine, but my feeling, being around the team, is that they view this in a similar way to last year, to where they like the core that they have, they like the locker room chemistry that they have. And they play sort of a unique brand in the sense that you can't just throw anybody into it. Like the brand they play offensively is so reliant on basketball IQ and chemistry and feel that you can't just go add somebody without potentially throwing everything off. And so I think I just don't know what deal is out there for them that's drastically going to change who they are. And I think, Kevin Huerter is a streaky player, right? And if you trade him just because, he had a poor shooting start to the season, you're probably trading him when his value's low. And if he ends up, we saw last year, he had 5-6 week stretches where he'd shoot almost 50% from the 3-point line.
Right. And
he completely changes the dynamics of the Kings offense when you have an outlet like that who can be among the league's best from 3-point range. So there's still the possibility that Kevin Huerter can be that guy for the Kings at some point in the, maybe it's this month, maybe it's next month. And maybe if they trade him while his value was low, that deal ultimately doesn't end up getting you what you want or what you need to really improve. Whereas keeping him and just getting improved shooting could be a big difference there. So I just don't know. Looking at the landscape, it's definitely not a buyer's market. And the Kings aren't going to trade Keegan Murray. And with OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam moved, I just don't know what deals are potentially out there that would make sense. And with Zach LaVine done for the year, it just doesn't seem like there's really a difference maker available for the Kings. And so they might just stand pat and hope their group can improve off last year and they can make a deeper run into the playoffs than they did last spring.
Talking to Chris Biederman, Candlestick Chronicles and the Sacramento Bee. Chris, with everything going on, what was your initial takeaway from, I know Chris has a question about Grassgate, but besides that, did you have any takeaways from Super Bowl opening night last night?
I thought Kyle Shanahan had some really interesting things to say about game manager and system quarterback, and sort of dispelling all of that narrative, I guess, for lack of a better word. Like what he said that most interested me. He said there's 3 things you need from a quarterback. He has to run the system, obviously, which is what they practice all the time. He has to manage the game. Being a game manager, you have to spike the ball at the right time. You have to get in and out of the huddle. You have to know when to throw the ball away. You have to know, clock management, all of those things. That's all managing the game, also being a game manager. And then you have to make plays. And so Brock Purdy has clearly shown throughout the season that he can make plays. And so that third factor is really what differentiates him from the game manager, from the system quarterback label. And that was the point that Kyle Shanahan was making, whether it's, Brock Purdy making plays with his legs late in the Lions game, or Brock Purdy making plays outside of structure, which we even saw last year, right? He had an ability to escape and make plays. So that's always been part of Brock Purdy's game. And Kyle Shanahan just basically said, like, he does all 3 of those things, which is what you want from a good quarterback. Now, whether or not, Brock Purdy is an elite quarterback or one of the 5 quarterbacks you draft, if you could draft all the quarterbacks in the league, like, it's really non-material. Like it doesn't matter, right? Like the 49ers are in the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy playing at a relatively high level. So that's all that matters in the 49ers mind. And I think they have unwavering belief that they can win the Super Bowl with him and that he'll be the starting quarterback for the long haul. I one thing, like, even if Brock Purdy comes out and plays pretty poorly on Sunday, I still think, like, he's going to be the team's quarterback next year. I think it would have to take a pretty catastrophic Super Bowl and maybe a catastrophic regular season next year for them to ever consider moving off of him. And so my big takeaway just overall is how much belief the 49ers have in Brock Purdy long-term, and that this is not just like a flash in the pan thing where they're just riding a hot hand. They really think this guy could be their franchise guy for a long time.
Yeah, Chris, I mean, Alan said it there, but I'm going to ask you about Grassgate. Yesterday, Shanahan seemed to kind of downplay it a bit, said, we're really not super concerned about it. But at the same time, there's tons of reports about, all of the back workings of them trying to lock down a facility. And I guess the Chiefs denied them the ability to share the Raiders practice facility. Just in general, you could take it wherever most intrigued you. But what were your thoughts on Grassgate, and is it at all anything that's going to impact the game at all on Sunday?
Only if somebody gets hurt during practice, but I do doubt that would happen. Knock on wood, right? We don't want anyone to get hurt. But my big takeaway generally is that the 49ers probably had their most physically demanding practices last week in Santa Clara on their home field, and during the regular season, they typically don't. Like, their practices are typically glorified walkthroughs. So it's not, they're not doing a ton of stuff that would allow guys to get hurt. It's more about focusing on installing the game plan and being where you need to be positionally, schematically, all of those things. So, if they're basically running glorified walkthroughs on these grass fields, I wouldn't be terribly concerned about the conditions. But yeah, it's a bad look for the league. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
That, you have one team set up in a brand new, I don't know how much the Raiders facility costs, but it looks amazing from what I've seen. State of the art, they have 3 fields outside. They have a turf field inside.
Crazy.
And the Niners are playing on excuse me, they're practicing on grass that's laid out over artificial turf without like a base layer being put down. It just seems haphazard and unnecessary, and it does seem unfair. So the fact that the league doesn't seem to be taking or sharing a whole lot of responsibility in this and just kind of sweeping it under the rug, I think is a bad look. And again, if the Niners lose the game, I severely doubt that it's going to be because of whatever the practice field was like. But I think the thing I would say is that I doubt these practices are going to be like full intensity. So I would expect them to be fine, just having sort of these glorified walkthroughs on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
All right, Chris. No reason, no explanation. Who wins Sunday?
You know what? I'm going with the Niners. I've thought a lot about it. It's impossible to bet against Patrick Mahomes, but I also look at the fact that it's just really hard to repeat. And I think the broader sample size, despite what's happened the last few weeks, the broader sample size says the Niners are top to bottom the better team. And I'm going to rely on that in making this pick, in that the Niners have been better throughout the season. I know the Chiefs have been better in the playoffs. The Niners defense has been kind of problematic over these last few weeks, but I actually think in a weird way that helps the 49ers. It lights a fire under them to understand that they need to play with more urgency defensively and with more effort than they did against Detroit and Green Bay, because this is a giant that they have to slay right here. And emotionally, look, this is the Chiefs. This is their 4th Super Bowl in the last 5 years. I think that there's just no way that the Chiefs can have the same emotional edge as the 49ers, given that they just won it last year, given that the Niners have come so close and dealt with bitter defeat so many times leading up to this, given the fact that, the Chiefs were the last team that they played in the Super Bowl. I just think the 49ers are going to have the emotional edge. It's so hard to repeat. We haven't seen it since 2005, 2006, or 2004, 2005. With the Patriots. So it's really hard to repeat. And for those reasons, I'm picking the Niners.
There you go. Chris Biederman, Sacramento Bee, Candlestick Chronicles. Thank you as always, Chris. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. You got to get to a break. When we get back, you'll never believe what the mayor of Las Vegas had to say about the A's, or maybe you will. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Catch Stiles and Watkins live from Radio Row as they bring you the biggest guests in the NFL. Sactown Sports Radio Row coverage is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. When it's time for a road trip, prepare with a visit to Jiffy Lube for all your automotive maintenance needs, from oil changes to tire rotations and more. Jiffy Lube is your road trip headquarters.
Get the best local coverage of the big game with Stiles and Watkins.
Wednesday through Friday from 10 to 2 on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room. but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
This segment is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville. Check them out at KiaVacaville.com.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Thank you again to Chris Peterman of the Sacramento Bee and Candlestick Chronicles. Real quick before we get into this A's talk, this is per Woj. I'm not victory lapping here. This is just what's being said. This is on Woj's pod. Kyle Kuzma, Malcolm Brogdon, and Bojan Bogdanovic appear unlikely to be traded before Thursday's deadline.
That's interesting.
So there you go.
Well, I mean, the Bojan Bogdanovic, like, can the Pistons let that man live, please?
No, they were trying to be buyers.
Got him trapped.
They were trying to be buyers. And you had Kate Cunningham just last week talk about during the game. He said, somebody said something about getting traded. He said, please. He said, it wouldn't say please. He said, he basically said, get me out of here. The Pistons are a complete mess.
Please. I feel like, that meme of that dude who's yelling at the cat in the bodega. Yeah. I'm going to get you out of here. Yeah. Okay? We going to find out how to get you out of here. That's how I feel about Bojan Bogdanovic. It's like this guy can literally impact playoff series, and he's just sitting there in Detroit just wasting away. And it's like, can you just a late first or something? How can I interest you in moving off of Bojan Bogdanovic? Because I think he would be a great under-the-radar guy that the Kings could bring in and have huge impact. That's a guy who can shoot, put the ball on the floor. He's been in playoff series in the past and has performed really well in them. That's really disappointing too, because I think he has one more year left on his contract after this. So I have no idea what Detroit's trying to do. I guess the Kuzma thing makes a little bit of sense. They kind of have to be wowed by an offer, but
yeah,
Bojan Bogdanovic, man, get that dude some help, please.
I'm actually surprised. Now it just makes me even more thankful that the Raptors deals did happen, because we could have lived in a world where we still were talking
the amount of first round picks at this point that Masai would be requesting. He's like, oh, I don't know, it's pretty quiet out there. So if you really want our guys, like, give me every first round pick you got,
and your first unborn child.
First unborn. I'm telling you, the rights to Rain Fox, man.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Scary. All right. Got some A's talk here. We have sound, and actually now the mayor of Las Vegas, Carolyn Goodman, has, since this audio posted from Front Office Sports, since this interview posted, she has now said something else, right? Not a full walk back, but something like it. Let's hear from Carolyn what she originally said when she was interviewed by Front Office Sports.
We have a very large complex, probably about 60 acres. We probably could cobble together more land so they could possibly have 100 acres. And it's in the historic old part of town, which is where all major interstate highways come together. We have 7 access points to it. It is in an opportunity zone. There are all these benefits. And so when they said no, I thought, this doesn't make sense. And so why is it happening? And then I thought, well, because they really want to stay in Oakland. They want to be on the water. They have that magnificent dream, and yet they can't get it.
Would it be a good thing if the A's do, in fact, move to the Tropicana?
I personally, I'm not talking about anybody else, anywhere else in this community. I personally think they've got to figure out a way to stay in Oakland to make their dream come true.
So that came out and it quickly set wildfire everywhere because this is the mayor of Las Vegas basically saying they need to stay in Oakland. So now that was earlier this morning. Now an hour ago, this is from Carolyn Goodman's Twitter, says statement on today's conversation about the Oakland A's. And this is what she says. I want to be clear that I am excited about the prospect of Major League Baseball in Las Vegas, and it very well may be that the Las Vegas A's will become a reality that we will welcome to our city. On February 5th, 2024, I was interviewed for the Front Office Sports Podcast. It was one of many interviews about the rise of Major League Sports in Las Vegas and how this weekend Super Bowl is a milestone in my and how this weekend Super Bowl is a milestone in my and former Mayor Oscar Goodman's pursuit of sports teams for Las Vegas. We discussed several topics including the Oakland A's for about 7 minutes, and I mentioned the passionate fans of Oakland who often visit our city to cheer on the Raiders. My points included that it is my belief that in their perfect world, the ownership of the A's would like to have a new ballpark on the water in Oakland, and that the ownership and government there should listen to their great fans and try to make that dream come true. Should that fail, Las Vegas has shown that it is a spectacular market for major sports franchises.
Wow. What a great quote.
So she didn't walk it back.
She should have said that.
But she didn't walk it back at all.
No, not really. Not really. But that definitely sounds a whole lot better than what she went out there and said.
Yeah.
It's not a great look for sure. I mean, even the headline itself is already done the damage that I think is going to be hard to undo. The fact that you have headlines out there saying mayor of Las Vegas says she doesn't believe, or I guess she technically said Oakland is the place.
Should stay in Oakland.
Yes, basically. Should stay in Oakland. That's going to do a lot of damage. And even I don't think that there's any undoing of what she's saying, but it's also very telling that, she's been somebody who's brought in franchises to Las Vegas. I guess she's not in charge or doesn't oversee like the strip of Las Vegas, but I guess she was very involved in the passing of the legislation to get the Las Vegas Knights there, to get the Aces over there, and is trying to get an NBA team, from what I understand, over there as well. So it's just interesting that somebody who's been a champion of bringing all of these sports to Las Vegas seems a little hesitant about this specific move to Las Vegas. And you tie that on top of everything else that we're hearing and things that you've heard. It just doesn't sound like this situation is going to end up in Las Vegas.
No. And look,
forget Oakland. It just seems like Vegas is not happening.
It's just not as clean as the other ones, right? This one just seems murky. Yeah. The actual plans are not really thought out. You talk about haphazard. It just seems like a complete mess. And, I don't know what's going to happen next, but it feels like nobody does. And this plan just wasn't fully baked out, unfortunately. And I don't know how they would stay in Oakland. I don't know how that comes back around, but you're burning a lot of bridges here. Yeah. And there just seems to be no plan. And when you don't have a plan and you act on emotion, which seems to be what John Fisher initially did, that's a problem. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, Charvarius Ward was ready to turn up in Vegas. Did Kyle Shanahan do the same? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The power's out at our house. Coffee table. But since our family has storm-ready Wi-Fi from Xfinity, we can stream or game in the dark, as I try and feel around for a seat. Ah, here we go. Oh, who moved the couch?
Get storm-ready Wi-Fi only from Xfinity, so you can stay connected for up to 4 hours, even when the power goes out. Restrictions apply. Limited to customers within range of 4G LTE cellular signal. Speeds reduced to 30/7 megabits per second. Actual speeds vary. Learn more at xfinity.com/stormready.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and me the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Jiffy Lube, your place for oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. Hey, for valuable coupons and a location near you, visit jiffylube.com.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury, for almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo, with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. Plus line dancing, a mechanical bull, and Sacramento's best food trucks. One-day tickets are on sale now, starting at $46, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more info, visit CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by Hubble Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center.
Right now, the sewer system is probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay, because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. If you have a sewer problem like a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
This segment is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville. Check them out at KiaVacaville.com.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
The Milwaukee Bucks are showing strong interest, in quotes, in Dorian Finney-Smith. That is per Ian Begley, who is a reporter covering the Knicks and Nets for SNY TV. Also, Trae Young and Scotty Barnes will replace Julius Randle and Joel Embiid in the All-Star game. So now that two guys, and you really didn't hear a lot about Scotty Barnes being snubbed, but heard a lot about Trae Young being snubbed. There was actually a clip of Trae Young talking to Steph Curry, and the lip readers out there said Steph said it's all politics. So Trae Young gets in. That's the Eastern Conference snub gets in, and I don't know who's injured, who possibly couldn't play. I'm just gonna guess Paul George. I'm always gonna guess a Clipper.
Yeah, right. Paul George, Kawhi are some good normal suspects. AD, who knows? Yeah. I don't think there's anybody currently looking at any bumps and bruises, but again, we have, I think, 2 more weeks until the All-Star game itself, which is just crazy. It feels like once the sports calendar gets going, it especially right now, we're going to have the Super Bowl, and then we're going to have the trade deadline the same week as the Super Bowl, and then we're going to have the All-Star game after, and then next thing we know, it's going to be the playoffs. But for the most part, it doesn't look like there's anybody, though. Who knows? One of those Suns guys who could go down as well. So who knows?
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with the Kings and the All-Star situation. It's kind of blown over now. They should still continue to play with that chip on their shoulder and really make it count. Let's get to Charvarius Ward now. This was last week when he said something that it's interesting how, you know what, I'll save this for after the fact. Here is Charvarius Ward and what he had to say last week when he got asked about Vegas.
Well, this Super Bowl in Vegas, so might turn up a little bit the first day or two out there, but after that, really just lock in, you know what I'm saying, focus. The whole week is really like a movie. Like, you're going to see celebrities everywhere. Pre-game on the field, you might see Jay-Z, Beyonce, you know what I'm saying, Kevin Hart, people like that. But
so that's what he said. He said a little bit more than that, but can't play that on these airwaves. So that's what he said, right? And people were actually upset about it. Right. I saw people, come on, man, you can't say stuff like that. He said a day or the first day or two out there. Okay. That's Charvarius Ward. He is a player.
Yeah.
All right. Now there was and Chris Biederman, who we had on from Sacramento Bee, we are not going to say whether or not Kyle Shanahan was sippy. We don't know. There were people saying that it sounded like he was.
Yes.
And we're just going to play this audio and go from there. This is Kyle Shanahan. I guess the question, I think this is the one about Brock Purdy and not the game manager one, because that one he nailed, but there was another one out there where it was just a little slurry. Let's just hear from Kyle Shanahan.
Well, it's funny to hear Jed say that because it wasn't the smartest moment I've ever had. I mean, when an owner comes in after training camp practices and is like, hey, how's the quarterback? And what he means is the starter or the second. And you in irritation go, I don't know, but our third guy's the best. Like, that's not what he wants to hear. So that's why he remembers it very strong. But that was just more, Brock was so good right away with every rep he got. He was always the same. And he only got a couple of them. So it was easy for me to say.
You have more, Nate. There's a little bit more.
In his few reps, he was the best. But if you know that for a fact, I mean, then you do what you do right away. But he was the best, but you ease that on. And every time he got a little more reps, it was the same as when he got 2. And so when it was all said and done and he got a lot of playing time, it was like, oh, this looks exactly like what I told you when I was irritated. And he only had 3 reps. And I said, no, he's the best. But that's what was so real about Brock. That's why after his 7 games, his rookie year, even when he got hurt, we knew what we had because he'd been that way in practice every day. And it was the exact same way in the games.
What do you think? Well, it's not even a speculate.
It's definitely a spirited Kyle Shanahan. Like, I mean, it's just it could honestly be is in the typical setting in which we hear Kyle Shanahan, he's usually not thrilled. It's just like after practice, very rarely is he in a cheery, happy, definitely not very talkative mood. And I'm just going to play devil's advocate here. And I'm going to say that maybe he was just excited to be on the stage. And I guess last time in 2016, when he was up at the podium, he was very stoic and kind of got a lot of flack for not being open and essentially being the Kyle Shanahan that we see every week. So maybe I'm not saying that there weren't influences in there, but I'm just saying in general, maybe he just decided however that comes about. I just think he maybe decided, hey, let's be a little bit more cheery. Let's be a little bit more excitable here because all of this is at the same time especially yesterday. That's all for TV.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's a lot on the line for Kyle Shanahan. Yes. So if something was sipped on to maybe loosen up a little bit and also just feeling more confident. Maybe he felt the way he did or looked the way he looked in 2019 because he knew he had Jimmy G going
stressing
and going up against and he didn't have Christian McCaffrey. So going up against the Chiefs
he was
and the Chiefs did have Tyreek Hill and they still had a chance to win. So if not for a Jimmy G overthrow. So I think there was a combination of things. Obviously, we don't know. I thought it was interesting that I saw more people upset at Charvarius Ward for even bringing it up than I did for what it sounded like with Kyle Shanahan. It was our coach is just like us. I saw a lot of that last night.
No, you got to keep the same energy.
And it's just, Are you just saying that because you have no choice? I saw only a couple people, and I'm not saying you have to be, hey, how dare you? It's 6 days. You got to focus, mama mentality. People, you should never do anything like that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying don't get mad at Charvarius Ward. If Charvarius Ward gets smoked, he's going to hear it. And if that leads to Kyle Shanahan, I guess it's a culture thing, right? If your coach is out, we just don't know what happened. Nate, as a Niner fan, did you care? If
Not
so,
really.
Okay.
I didn't love the Charvarius Ward statement.
So you disliked Charvarius Ward more than the fact that Kyle Shanahan could actually have been.
Yes, because I think that when you're about to play the biggest game of your life in 7 days, like I would just say you could maybe practice a bit of restraint. Like I just think, I'm not saying that it's going to necessarily even affect your play 100%. It's more just also maybe don't go
just
public
don't say it.
Yeah, you definitely don't have to go public with it, and it's just. Of course, like it might be a dirty secret that we all don't acknowledge, but of course these guys probably go out and do things.
Right, think
on
about
game
it week to
that we
week.
just don't know
Right,
about.
think about
Exactly.
it week to week.
Miami,
you got to enjoy these millions at some point.
Absolutely,
right.
100%.
They're not just saving all of it for the off season. So
It's just a really bad look. That's my problem. It's just
you don't think Shanahan was a bad look?
I think it's not a great look if he is in fact intoxicated, but
we don't know.
But at the same time, I do think there is a different standard. Sorry, for players and coaches.
That's fine.
The players, again, they've got to be in tippy top shape for again the most important game of their life. Kyle Shanahan's coaching against Andy Reid is not in any shape. It doesn't matter if Kyle Shanahan's not 100%. If it's affecting his pre-planning of the game plan, sure. But I think that there's a difference between, an athlete possibly saying in Las Vegas, I'm going to go crazy, but I'm going to go party for 2 days and then I'll focus on Dennis Rodman still partied and played and, it just kind of became a thing, but it doesn't make it any less okay. It's still not something you would prefer your athlete, your athlete about to, again, perform in the biggest stage in sports. You just prefer him not say it.
Yeah.
I guess it's okay.
I think I can be convinced.
If
he gets toasted, it's a bad look.
It's horrible. No, he's gonna hear it, and that's the problem. And then that reflects on the team as well. It becomes a bigger thing than just, Charvarius Ward said he was going to party and now he gets dusted. It becomes Charvarius Ward said he was going to party regardless of whether he did it or not. He got toasted. Well, wow, the Niners didn't hold their players accountable in the most important week. This is why they can't win 6 championships. This is a curse, all this stuff. It just spirals into something that it just didn't need to be.
Yeah.
You can everyone knows you're in Vegas. You can say, hey man, Vegas is going to be crazy. It's going to be hard to try and avoid all those distractions, but we just got to lock down and try and do it. There's ways of saying it without saying it.
Right.
I just feel like his biggest problem was he said the quiet part out loud. Honestly.
Yeah. And that can happen on both sides. So there's that situation with Charvarius Ward. And then last night, and I don't know who asked the question, but Patrick Mahomes got asked about his dad last night.
Really?
And it was just, hey, your dad, the situation.
That's a brave reporter.
And Patrick Mahomes just said, hey, it's gonna keep it in house, gonna keep it within the family. He's doing good based on what his situation is. And somebody came out and said there are so many different ways to ask that question to get more out of it. How do you focus on how do you
outside noise,
compartmentalize with everything going on? So yeah, I hear you on that. You said the quiet part out loud. And at the end of the day, you getting torched is a lot different. For Kyle Shanahan, it's more about being the leader because you have some drinks on Monday. That's not going to affect your ability to play, to call plays on Sunday.
Right.
You're not on the field.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Right. So Charvarius Ward, if you get torched by Rashee Rice or somebody like that, Kadarius Toney, who said he could be the number one, he got baited into that question. By the way, somebody asked, Kadarius Toney, are you the number one wide receiver? He said, if I get the ball. So I'm not even counting that because he got baited into that. So yeah, I thought a lot of things came out, a lot of good things came out, and look, people are going to enjoy themselves, but I did find it funny,
and they should.
I did find it funny. What is the line as far as going to bat for your guy?
Yeah.
And just everybody now saying, I don't care. What if when's the end? I don't know what the availability is today.
Yeah.
If it happens again tomorrow, right? I think if it happened again tomorrow or tonight,
well, that's
it might be all right. There's a little much now, and I don't think it will because I think Kyle Shanahan probably went home.
Yes,
and
he
saw,
probably saw all of those.
This is a thing because if you ever been in that situation, I'm convincing people. Nah, maybe some people, right? Maybe the problem was he had to do so much talking.
Right.
If it was a normal hit,
mask, right,
he probably could get in and get out. He was talking all night long.
Right.
So you win. This whole thing goes away. You're the cool coach.
Yep.
You lose. This thing might come back, but will you lose because on Monday you may or may not have enjoyed yourself? No. But it's just another thing. However you win and you don't have the conversation, Charvarius Ward does not get toasted. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we are doing a special edition of Fair or Foul since there's going to be so much going on next week. Or later in the week, we have a Fair or Foul coming up right now. We're going to talk about Vrabel and just a weird situation with Mike Vrabel and why he may not have gotten a job, and Jose Alvarado doing his shtick up a lot of points. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports is hitting the road on our Jiffy Lube road trip. Join Stiles and Watkins live from Radio Row in Las Vegas Wednesday through Friday from 10 to 2 as they get you ready for the big game.
Plus, we have additional coverage on all our shows from Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross and the Drive Guys.
It's Stiles and Watkins live from Vegas, all part of our Jiffy Lube road trip on Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
I like daffodils, tulips, the big dinner plate dahlias. I loved being in the garden, but I wasn't going to be able to because I could not only walk, but I couldn't really stand on my foot without being in pain. It was excruciating. So my husband said, let's go to the Good Feet store.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Terry live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
This nice young man said, I think I can help you. He got the arch support and I was fitted. And I kept walking back and forth across the store. And I looked at my husband and burst into tears because it was the first time in a year that I have not had any pain in my foot. I have had no pain since the day I bought them. Now I can do whatever I want. There isn't any place on my property that doesn't have flowers blooming 365 days a year. I still can't believe it. My name is Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
For sore feet, aching back, knee, or hip pain, come to the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, or Vacaville.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Nada Subaru says yes during the huge President's Day sales event on Now. Yes to financing as low as 1.9%. Yes to awesome lease offers. Yes to great trade-in values. Yes to huge selection of new and certified pre-owned Subarus in stock, ready to go. Outback, Forester, Crosstrek, Ascent, WRX, and more. All with huge Nada Says Yes savings. The President's Day sales event is on. Stop by Nada Subaru today or visit NadaSubaru.com and click the Unlock Nada Says Yes savings button to unlock your savings on the card you want today. Whatever you choose, you're going to save big during the President's Day sales event on Now at Nada Subaru. Yes to financing as low as 1.9%. Yes to attractive lease offers. Yes to exceptional trade-in values. Yes to great selection. Over 300 new and certified pre-owned Subarus available. The huge President's Day sales event on Now at Nada Subaru. NadaSubaru.com.
Approved premium credit 1.9 financing on new 2024 Outback.
Made a great deal at Nada.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Fair or foul? You know, we talk talk a lot about, I don't know how this all started, right, with the journey between Verts and Zants, and you try to get away from it, but we've never seen something on this side, especially in a sport like football.
Right.
Chris sent this to me, and I actually thought it was a joke.
It literally looks like a joke. It looks like something from The Onion. Seriously.
And now it turns out it isn't a joke. This is from Diana Rossini, and what she had to say about Mike Vrabel not getting a job is in part because he's too large?
Too vert.
Let's hear
Vrabel's side. What is your sense of why Vrabel doesn't have a head coaching job right now?
I don't think that there was a fit for him. I don't think he sat in front of any owner who thought that his style was going to work for what they were looking for.
What an interesting word to use, though, right? Because that's what we're talking about. It's like the way that these guys are personality-wise, the way that they come off, how big of a figure they cut within the building.
Do you know I had a GM at the Senior Bowl who mentioned to me Vrabel's physical build, that he's a very large human being and can be very intimidating to people in an organization that are going to be part of these decisions. And that is a factor, which I laughed. I said, stop, that's not something that's real. Who cares what someone physically looks like? And he said, I'm just telling you, I've been in rooms and somebody's physical presence can make a difference. And if you think about it, it makes sense. Outside of football, it has an effect, right? They always say really tall men have better opportunities in executive
tell me about
roles.
it. Yeah, tell me about it. As I sit here living my 5'11" life for the last 35 years and everything that comes with it.
Really tall, stunning, beautiful women are on TV, which is why I'm on a podcast now, right? This is what happens, Roger.
That was great. That was just great. He had me until 5'11". Come on, what type of struggle you live in, brother? Get out of here with that. I'm just looking this up because I walked by Dan Campbell. How could anybody be more intimidating than Dan Campbell? I walked by Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell is 6'5", and I can't imagine. And so Mike Vrabel is 6'4",
right?
And they look like they have the same exact build, right. So maybe it depends on the organization. As funny as it sounds, Detroit. Large men. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this seems insane to me.
It definitely seems insane to me.
We need to know which GM that is.
There's no way. If you are seriously not hiring somebody because they are too physically imposing, that is insane. It just doesn't make any sense. There's no logic behind it. I mean, we could go into deeper conversation, but it doesn't make any fundamental sense, especially in a game like football where it's like, why would anybody, like, why would size be something that you would want? Like,
if they're former players,
doesn't make any sense.
If most of the coaches are former players, this just seems extremely bizarre. And if anybody thinks that I'm the GM who said this, you're wrong. It was not me. It was not me. I will say, though, one of my roommates in college, he was a pitcher, of course. He was 6'7". And when we would walk to get stuff, I would say, man, I just don't really like walking around with you.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean? I think one time we were walking in the Philly neighborhood and somebody said, this looks funny, right? Just to our face. And I said, you know what, man, I can't just walk around with you by myself anymore. And it actually really hurt him.
Yeah.
No, seriously, it really hurt him. He said, Alan, that actually made me feel really bad.
Do about it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I said, you feel really bad. I feel really bad. I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but it sure does look funny.
Yeah. I mean, is it just from this Vrabel thing? Is it like a matter of they're afraid that, like, the GM's opinion is going to be, no pun intended here, the opinion of the GM is going to be dwarfed because of, like, his big presence?
I don't know.
Like, he's going to say, we should really take a quarterback in the first round. No, I don't think so. I think we'd be a lot better taking an O-lineman and bringing in some big bodies.
I don't know.
Like, okay. Like,
that's foul.
That's
so
insane.
That's fair foul. That is foul. And I can't
foul.
even believe that. So I can't believe a GM said that.
That's insane. No, if I were Diana Rossini, I know you're not supposed to reveal your sources. You probably need to reveal that source because that person doesn't deserve to have a job anywhere.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's insane. That's insane.
Crazy.
That you would even tell a reporter that is insane.
Right. And hey, if you've had a kind of a tough go and, it's hard. If you're sitting on your couch and you're mad because some dude is just a large human, that's one thing. But you're an NFL GM.
Yeah.
You made it yourself.
Yeah.
You're doing pretty well for yourself.
Great.
You're probably over 6 foot anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the problem is. This is crazy to me.
It's nuts.
Maybe it was a message from the owner.
There's a very simple way of figuring this out too.
How?
Just look up GM sizes. This got to be this has got to be a GM.
Where did Diana
5'8".
Rossini say she was?
I did not pick that up. Let me.
She said she was somewhere.
I was at the Senior Bowl.
So there was probably every GM.
Could have been
there.
any GM.
But we got to find pictures. We can figure this out.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Pictures of who she was talking with. But that is extremely foul. Nate, fair or foul on the size of
foul? 5'11" foul.
5'11" foul. Yeah, and I think Chris has a foul on that one.
That's crazy
as well. That was a great find. I truly thought that was a joke.
It looks like one.
The second on fair or foul, Jose Alvarado does his thing that we aren't really sure if his thing itself is fair or foul or Bush League, where he hides in the corner and steals the basketball from players that aren't paying attention. So he does this in a game, and he does it, and I'm double checking who it was. It was against the Toronto Raptors. The score at the time when he does it is 130-91 with 2 minutes, 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Jose Alvarado does his pickpocket thing, and they were up 41. Fair or foul?
Completely foul. Brother, the game.
You think it's foul even when it's a good game?
I sure do. But to do it when you're up 41 and to sell it, he then runs across the sideline, dapping up owners and stuff. It's like, I don't. Maybe this is like his revenge for. I don't know. This is very, very. This is bullying. This is what it is. This is the school that has all of the big kids who hit their growth spurt early, and then you're just sitting there. You went to a normal middle school, whatever, and you got to go play the team that's gonna, send 5 guys to the NFL and a couple guys to MLB, and you're like, okay, we're just normal humans, and we're going against, just future athletes. And it's big bully energy, and I'm not going to stand from it from the shortest guy on the basketball floor. So
whoa! Why'd you have to add that in?
Because it's just, I feel like he's taking the opportunity while he's ahead. I feel like he's probably been put down because many times in his life.
Wow, no. So and now
this is his way of trying to be like, I'm a front runner now. Get out of here.
No, actually, I think it's fair. We talk so much about keeping the same energy, and he kept the same energy. I don't care what the score is. That could be 2 points away from an incentive in his contract to get a new contract, to get whatever it is. This guy has been through the ringer. He's got to scrap to get here, and he's going to scrap to stay here. It's fair to me. I don't have a problem with it.
Intentionally deceiving. The man literally stands in the corner,
and you know that.
Waiting.
That's why you're down 40
because ain't
points.
No one got time to think about Jose Alvarado when you're down 40.
Well, he's gonna make you think about him. He's going to make you think about him. I don't have a problem with it, and I can't believe you have a problem with it.
No, it's terrible. I hate it.
I can't believe you have a problem with it.
And if anybody does that in pickup, they're getting knocked to the floor.
No, the equivalent of it in pickup, because I know exactly what it is. It's when you're not doing shirts and skins and everybody's wearing normal, wearing their clothes, and it's the first game, second game, and someone says ball, and you're still getting used to your team. That's what it is. It's Bush League, and I call it out. But that's different because you're not getting paid.
No, this reminds me of when you're doing check, you're checking the ball up.
He had 11, 4, and 4.
Get out of here.
If he broke double digits with that.
Here. No.
He broke double digits.
It's like when people just throw the ball at your feet, and it's like, no, you touched it. That's an inbound. It's like, no, dog. We all know how this works. You give me the ball, and I inbound it. And we play the game.
I'm not going to agree with you on this one.
I hate it.
I'm not going to agree with you on this one. That one's fair to me. No. It's off. You're on the basketball court. You playing, right? And it's 2 minutes left. It's 2 minutes, up 40, but it's 2 minutes left. It's not the last minute.
I hate it.
Even if it was the last minute.
I hate it so much.
Well, okay, would you hate it more if you were up 40 or down 40?
Definitely up 40. Down 40, at least you could say, you're trying to make a comeback. Oh, look at Jose Alvarado, trying.
But that's the same thing to me. You trying to make sure. That gave him 11 points.
It's almost rubbing it in. It's like, come on, dude. They're already down 40. Do they really need to be down 42?
Getting to a break, as Chris and I do not agree on Grand Theft Alvarado,
No,
getting his double-digit points. Getting where you fit in, Jose. Got to get to a break. When we get back, Colin Cowherd had some things to say if Brock Purdy does not win that go against what our Chris Biederman had to say earlier in the show. 12:15, King's Triangle, a.k.a. King's Roundtable. Just Brendan Nunez with us for 30 minutes. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It started with 32 teams back in September with one goal. Now we're down to the final 2 with a chance to earn the coveted Lombardi Trophy.
It's Super Bowl 58 as the Kansas City Chiefs look to go back-to-back while the San Francisco 49ers seek their 6th Super Bowl title.
Super Bowl 58, Sunday at 3:30 on your home for the NFL. Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
And dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
The first time I tried to quit vaping, I told myself that it was like a mountain that I had to climb over. And once I got to the other side, it would be clear. But I couldn't make it over. What really got me to quit was my little sister. I saw her vaping. So I was back in the mountain, but this time she was up there with me. It's weird what you can do for others that you won't do for yourself.
Every attempt is part of your story to quit for good. Visit Kick It California today at kickitca.org.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever. Ooma. What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Toyota's President's Day sales event is on. Now is your chance to save big on Toyota's entire lineup of 16 hybrid and electrified vehicles. Don't miss out on the best deals of the year. This President's Day, get low 1.99% APR, plus an incredible $2,500 bonus cash on the all-electric 2023 BZ4X. Hurry in for these President's Day deals and more. Get to your Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. Offer available for TFS buyers with premium rated credit and 3424.
Sactown Sports is hitting the road on our Jiffy Lube road trip. Join Stiles and Watkins live from Radio Row in Las Vegas Wednesday through Friday from 10 to 2 as they get you ready for the big game.
Plus, we have additional coverage on all our shows from Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross and the Drive Guys.
It's Stiles and Watkins live from Vegas, all part of our Jiffy Lube road trip on Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
This segment is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville. Check them out at kiavacaville.com.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Brock Purdy, he sure is getting a lot of publicity now. If he was under anybody's radar before, that is no longer the case. He is probably the most polarizing story in all of football. Whether you are on the side of he is the next GOAT, whether you are on the side of he's being carried, or whether you are a normal person and just think he is somewhere in the middle, but could improve. Now, Nick Bosa, who was a top pick in the draft, should have all the confidence in the world. He gives the speeches to the teams. Even Nick Bosa's mind has been blown with Brock Purdy's confidence. This was after the NFC Championship in the locker room, what he had to say and really ask Brock Purdy.
So the fact that you're doing this blows my mind. All of us, bro. All of us. It's crazy. Did you think you'd be this good? I think I've asked you before. I know, but did you, how much confidence did you have? That was the second pick of the draft, and I lacked confidence. It's part about the game, but
There's a lot going on there. That was when I was in there as well. It was a madhouse in that locker room. But basically, Bosa saying I was the second pick in the draft and I lack confidence, and Brock Purdy just really
just
doesn't
as cool
seem
as could
to.
be. He's just the game, bro. Like I think he literally says, we're just playing a game.
Yeah, we're just playing a game, and he had a lot of great quotes as he always does. Just as far as, hey, this is about the team. This isn't about me. This isn't about anything other than just getting it done. And I think that we can really respect that. Now, if Brock doesn't get it done, we had Chris Biederman on of the Candlestick Chronicles and the Sacramento Bee. He said nothing changes, and I don't think anything does, to be honest. But Colin Cowherd seems to think that if the Niners don't get number 6 and they lose, things could get a little bit interesting heading into next season.
5 of the 8 playoff quarters for Brock Purdy have not been good, and they've been a favorite, and they've been at home. So Brock Purdy's rate of negatively graded dropbacks in the playoffs has been 23%. So that's bad. That would have been the worst in the NFL of any quarterback with 200-plus dropbacks. He's been bad in the playoffs. He's had a couple of great late drives. I think this Kansas City's defense is elite. If Purdy struggles, really coughs it up, could you argue, Kyle goes, he got outplayed for 3 quarters by Love, outplayed by 2.5 quarters by lousy in the Super Bowl, that Sam Darnold would go into camp battling Purdy, and whoever played better would win that job?
I do think the 49ers are very, very loyal to this guy. He's beloved in the locker room, Brock Purdy. Jed York told him that Kyle, in 2022 in training camp, said, hey, I think this is like 2 weeks in, the best quarterback on the roster is the guy we just drafted in the 7th round.
Sam Darnold strikes again.
That's
insane. Honestly, he would have to play so bad. That's why I don't think this is going to happen. I just don't think he can play as bad as he would have to play for that to happen.
He would have to get hurt. No, he would have to get hurt over.
You don't even. No, I'm talking 3 picks.
No, I don't think
I'm talking a Ravens redo.
I don't think there's any way, because even after that Ravens game, it's not like there was conversation
this is the Super Bowl,
around. I can't see it. He would. How? I don't think that there is a level of terrible that he could play that would just erase everything that you saw this year.
I do, but I just don't think he'll.
Is it like 5 picks?
No. I think two picks and an L.
Oh, there's no way.
2 picks and an L.
Way worse than that.
No.
For them to consider Sam Darnold as their
No. For them to just keep things open. And I'll give you this. They'd have to keep things open. Sam would have to cook in training camp, and yes.
Because the thing would
if your argument is going into the season, it would still be Brock, but it would be now you have a Ravens type game again in the regular season. Now something comes up. That's what I would say.
But I think if they're at the point where they're bringing in another quarterback to compete, I think I can't even see that happening. But
Sam's already there though.
And I don't think Sam Darnold's going to be in that race. I can't see them getting
2
to
picks
the
and
point.
an L.
Because they were never considering. There was never even a question of bringing in.
Yeah,
Sam
I know,
Darnold.
because he cooked for he was in the MVP conversation.
But just one game. Granted, it's the biggest
but
game.
Colin is saying the whole playoffs he hasn't looked like Brock.
Sure.
In spurts.
Sure.
But I'm not saying that he looked bad in this game and Sam Darnold could beat him out in training camp. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that this could start something if Brock doesn't cook early on in the regular season. Then there would be questions. This is a contract. That would be a contract season for Brock.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I hear that. I hear you on it could start to raise. It could be the beginning of the end.
Sam Darnold is not starting week 1 regardless.
Yeah. Okay.
No matter what.
Okay. There we go.
But
I'm 100%
it could start the
train.
conversation.
I could see that happening where it's the beginning of the end, where maybe this is where the questions become the loudest and he just never is able to answer those questions as definitively as he was able to answer them this year. I could see that happening. I'll go there. And, we're not, I guess in that, if that's the situation that we're dealing with, I guess I can say we probably aren't that far off. Like I could see a 3. I still think it would take a tremendous amount of turnovers for it to get. I think it would
more than 2.
I just cannot see it getting to that point.
But that's how I started. Yeah. I don't think he'll play bad, and I don't think he'll play bad enough. I think he might throw a pick, or something like that. And honestly, with that terrible Chiefs run defense, it would be on Kyle to throw the football and put it in harm's way. It should be McCaffrey for 200 yards in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you have to stack the box, we'll see what happens.
Right.
Because we all know that Chiefs run defense is not good.
No, absolutely. I completely agree there. I think that you should definitely, I think Brock got you to this point. Brock has gotten you there. I think now that you're there, utilize your stars as much as possible. The last thing you want to do going into the most important game of the season or coming out of the last game of the season is to say, I don't know if we got Christian McCaffrey the ball enough. I don't know if we got Debo the ball enough. That's the last world you want to live in, is having no regrets and truly leaving it all on the field. The Purdy thing is just, I guess I could see him having a bad enough game to where questions start to arise. But again, for them to bring in somebody else besides Sam Darnold, I just can't see them feeling like, well, maybe we need to bring in more competition.
They can't do that.
I feel like that's out of the question. Right. And Sam Darnold starting, to me, that's not, that would have to be Brock, much like Biederman said there. It would take a bad Super Bowl performance and probably at least, I think it would take 8 to 10 weeks of bad play in the regular season next year for it to be a serious conversation with how much they've dug their heels in it.
They've rode for him so hard.
So hard. It'd be so difficult to just do a complete 180 after this. Especially after this week. All the Kyle knew from the beginning and all that stuff.
All the victory lapping and we found our guy. Yeah, I don't see it happening. He would have to have one of the worst games of his life.
Ever. Yeah, it would have to be like a serious, almost like a Rick Ankiel moment where it's just he gets the yips after, just for whatever reason is not able to. But I don't see it happening. I think, and to your point as well about Kyle, I don't think Kyle is going to put him in a situation where it's going to be in Brock's hands to that extent. He still might have a bad game, but I can't see him just giving Brock the keys and having them lose the game because of Brock.
Yeah, I don't see it either, but anything is possible. At that point, you would just never believe anything that Kyle Shanahan or John Lynch had to say. Of
course.
Right. But they are on a timeline. What you would even do with Brock, I just don't see it happening. I don't know if you see an Elijah Mitchell. It's either going to be, you're going to see a secondary back in the Super Bowl. So. I don't know if it's going to be Elijah Mitchell or.
He doesn't even have to get carries, but even just
be back there.
Yeah.
It's either going to be Elijah Mitchell or Debo. But one of those guys, mark my words, one of those guys is going to break either a big run or score a touchdown because it's going to be Debo weather, or they're going to do the real short pass. They love that with Debo in the sweep.
The screen,
and somebody's going to have the prop for Debo's rushing yards and think that they hit.
Yeah. Oh, that's technically a backwards pass.
And it's going to be a run.
Yeah.
It's going to be a run. Let's lighten the mood a little bit here with Brock. There were so many random questions asked and they asked Patrick Mahomes to do a Kermit the Frog impression, and he said, "That's just me." He's like, "That's me talking right now."
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
they
something
also asked Brock to do a SpongeBob impression.
Why?
And I don't know.
guess Nickelodeon.
Because it was a Nickelodeon. Right. Yeah, here he is.
Yeah.
I'll try. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was great.
Sounds terrible, by the way. Just absolutely.
He like did the thing with his neck.
Yeah. Nah.
That wasn't bad. I give it a 7. Let's hear it again, Nate.
Maybe I feel like I can personally do better.
Well.
Try. Ready?
Yeah.
It's a B-.
That's I said a 7. 7 out of 10.
I'm giving that like a hard 4.
Chris,
4 and
you
a
know
half
where
of
we're
5.
leading. If you're gonna say that, you have to do yours.
That's fine. He said, nah.
Whoa.
How about that?
That was good.
That was good.
What are we giving that? If Brock's a 7,
B+.
that's got to be like a 9.
You're 8.5.
I'll take it. That's strong.
You're 8.5. Battle of the Bobs.
Bad.
Yeah, see, you get the octave higher.
Yeah, you got to.
Can you talk as him or no?
No.
Come on.
Not. Absolutely not.
Yes,
no,
you
no
can.
No, there's no. That is horrible.
Why is it making you so upset?
It's just terrible.
You worked on your craft.
I just love SpongeBob also. Like SpongeBob is absolutely number 1 with a bullet for me.
You work on your craft.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, I'm just grinding film. While Brock's out there grinding football film,
right.
I'm out there grinding the SpongeBob tape.
Right. Different.
By the end of the week, you're going to be a master.
Oh, yeah.
That's
no,
right.
I'm going to nail it. Yeah, 100%.
That's right. Because here's the thing. And we can open this up.
Brock.
We can open this up to our listeners. We're trying to be more unique with all of the interviews that we have. So maybe that's the thing. Can you do, guys, we should be writing this down. Can you do any impressions, any special talents? There you go. Or we got to make sure we get this
yes,
down.
I do a killer SpongeBob laugh impression.
Then we have a
and they hit us
SpongeBob
with
battle. Right now, we just have arm wrestling with Nate, right? And that's only for only for the former NFL players. All right.
Just get my arms snapped off.
Do you have any special talents? Okay, let's remember this. Yeah. Any special talents? Okay. And do you do any impressions?
Yeah. Yeah, that should work. I feel like for the most part, I'm trying to think if people would be welcome to. I feel like athletes might be tough, like especially the current athletes are like, nah, I ain't doing none of that, bro.
They just look at their PR. Yeah,
we ain't doing that. Yeah.
I mean, I can show you.
Plug Barbasol and be happy, please.
I mean, I can show you, but I'm not going to show you. Really Gotta get to a break. When we get back, getting back into some Kings talk. Also Niners. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Jiffy Lube, a proud partner of Sactown Sports, is sending Stiles and Watkins on the road to Las Vegas. Starting Wednesday from 10 to 2, join the guys live from Radio Row as they get exclusive interviews to prep you for the big game.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
It's Stiles and Watkins live from Vegas, all part of our Jiffy Lube road trip on Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
This segment is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville. Check them out at KiaVacaville.com.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
The Kings have quite the upcoming schedule, and now that the road trip is over, we can combine what they've done and see where we think they're going to fall on this homestand now. Just a reminder, all guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Text line as well. Folsom Lake Honda text line. And the Sac Chat. Shout out to the Sac Chat. Again, any unique questions you think we can ask, any fun ideas, you are going to workshop. You're going to help us workshop ideas for the amazing guests that we have lined up. Jay doing a great job filling up our guest list. And you're not going to want to miss everything that we have going on for the next 3 days in Vegas once we get out there. Getting back into some Kings talk. Okay, Chris, so it's not really a homestand because it's only 2 games. So let's just say these next will end with their cheese. Okay.
I called this game on Wednesday. It's like literally a homecoming, like in high school, how typically I feel like schools will schedule their homecoming football game, obviously after a road game, but also like it's usually a not elite competition.
Yes, let's make sure we get this W.
Exactly. And so, them after the season-long 7-game road trip, nice little homecoming against the one of the worst teams in the NBA.
Okay, I think it's too hard to go farther down than 6 or 8. So let's just do the next 8 games and guess what they're going to be. Because that would be a long stretch here. Because now the Kings are 6-2 for their last 8 games, right? And we're including the Hawks now. So they have the Pistons tomorrow, then they have the Nuggets on Friday, and then they have the Thunder Sunday, at Thunder, at Suns, at Nuggets, home against the Kings, at Clippers, home against the Heat, who they should have something for. So I'm going to say for these next 8 games, Pistons W. I think they're going to split against the Nuggets, so I think they get this first one. I think they beat the Pistons. They beat the Nuggets. I think they finally lose to the Thunder, so now they're 2-1. I think they lose to the Suns for some odd reason. They're 2-2. I think they lose to the Nuggets. They're 2-3. They beat the Spurs 3-3. Honestly, I think they lose to the Clippers 3-4. I think they're going to go 4-4 these next 8 games.
Yeah, I think something probably similar. I think Detroit obviously should be a win. I think Denver's going to be a tough one. I agree. I think they'll probably get one of these games against Denver. I'll just pick the home one. OKC is a really, really tough matchup in OKC. I feel like the Kings can do it. It'll be post-trade deadline. I'm going to assume the Kings make a trade. I'm going to say they win against OKC, 2-1. Or I'm sorry, that's 3-0. 3-0 start. And then at Club Phoenix, I just think that it's going to be too loud out there for a TNT game. And first night of a back-to-back, and then they're playing in Denver the night before. That just feels like 2 straight losses there. I'm going to go 3-2, 4-2 with the win against San Antonio. I'm going to agree with you. That Clipper game is just, it's staring at me, and I don't want to have to watch it. But who knows? Maybe it'll be like the Clipper game last year on the other side of the. We'll also be on the other side of the All-Star break at that point. So it really does set up to be a really similar matchup as before. I'm going to go LA in that one, and then Miami. I hope the Kings can beat the Heat because it felt like that game was for the taking, and Jimmy Butler, shout out him, and that Miami team was really desperate for a win. I'm going to say the Kings win that one, and I think that puts them at 5-3. So I'm just going to have one game better than you.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
That's about where we've seen this Kings team perform. It feels like they do more times than not beat bad opponents or teams that feel like they're a step below the Kings, and then once they get to the real competition, you're kind of surprised if they beat teams that are actually better than them. And, they've beaten OKC, I think, twice already this year. So it's not unheard of to beat them a third time.
It would.
I think they match up well.
It would be really impressive to go a back-to-back Suns, Nuggets, win both of those games.
That'd be
The
crazy.
Suns, they just really can't decide who they want to be.
No,
they really can't. They had the homecoming. I think Bradley Beal, what do you have, 40?
Yeah.
They're truly, there's only one ball. I would stay away. They are the equivalent, when we talk prop talk, they're the equivalent of the Niners. I would stay away from the Suns in prop talk because it's not all of them are not going to eat. So you got to pick the one.
Whose day is it going to be?
Whose day is it going to be? Because it's either going to be Bradley Beal, it's going to be Kevin Durant. So let's look here. It was Devin Booker had 14. Durant had 18. I'm gonna tell you right now, neither of those is what their points are set at. And Bradley Beal had 43. So I would stay away from them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they really need a point guard, and until they find them, funny enough, they traded Chris Paul this offseason, but until they get a point guard with those guys, I mean, it's going to be one of those three is going to have the ball in their hands more than everybody else that night. And to your point, it's just kind of a pick your poison. And, some nights they're kind of like the Kings, and where if you don't have the talent to match up with them, they'll kill you. They will absolutely kill you. But if you can present an actual lineup and a rotation that involves more than 4 people, then the Suns are very, very beatable. It's just, I don't know. I mean, it feels like they're starting to click the more and more games they play together. It's a matter of, the Kings also have to be clicking as well. So it's not a guarantee, but it feels like Phoenix doesn't really present that big of a problem for the Kings. And we can't forget the Kings should have destroyed them last time they played. They were up 20 and then completely gave up the lead.
That's right. That was kind of the end of that road trip to possibly salvage something.
Yeah.
And they just weren't able to do so. The Bucks head to Club Phoenix tonight to take on the Suns in a battle of who is going to trick off more games. Let's get to the phone lines of Folsom Lake on the hotline. Our guy Will wants to be a part of the conversation, 916-339-1140. If you want to be a part of the conversation, what's up, Will? What you got for us? I'm surprised you called. Harrison Barnes had 22 last night.
Yeah, but he played no D. None of them played D. Zero defense. I mean, I'm seeing Harrison wave at people. Hey, you know what gets me? Stiles and Watkins. I know it was a back-to-back. I know, I mean, I'm not putting no blame on Brown for last night. But them guys played no defense. I mean, anytime Strauss wanted to get a shot, a three, he's wide open.
Yeah.
He's wide open. You know what really pissed me off, Styles? You remember the one play where Sabonis got the rebound. He's under the basket. He got the rebound. And Strauss just poked the ball out of his hands, right? And then ran to the corner to shoot a three, and Sabonis ran under the basket.
Yeah.
He ran under, he'd rather give up a three than let somebody maybe try to make a two. It was, the defense was pathetic last night, man. I mean, and then my boy, and listen, I ain't blaming no one person, but I think Bones had like 6 turnovers. And a lot of times, I don't know what it is. A lot of times, I mean, I love them triple doubles, man. I love them triple Ds, but he turns the ball over. He fumbles it a lot. I don't understand that.
Yeah,
and I just don't understand, man. They play no D. They play no D, and I don't think whoever you put out there nobody played defense. I know it was a back-to-back, but You don't let Strauss, the dude came out of Miami. He was busting last year. But you don't let that guy just shoot threes uncontested. He shot about, man, you saw the game. You saw the 3 uncontested threes he had, right?
Yeah. No, I saw.
I mean, how does that happen?
I don't know. Will, thanks for the call as always. Here's the thing. It wasn't a back-to-back, actually. It was the last game on their road trip, but it actually wasn't a back-to-back. Sabonis just has the ball in his hands a lot, right? Yeah. So 5 turnovers last night. Will tried to give him an extra one. I get it, but it's just kind of comes with the territory. It's the same way he misses a lot of bunnies, right? I mean, he makes more good plays than bad, but you just hope those turnovers don't come at bad times.
Yeah.
I'm looking here at Strus's numbers because he did get
Strus
hot.
was on one.
Strus and LeVert killed them. Strus had 22. He was 6 of 10 from 3. And LeVert was 3 of 4 from 3. He had 17 off the pine. That's just not going to work.
No.
That's just not going to work. And you had, Dean Wade, not D-Wade.
Nope.
Dean Wade, 2 threes. Okay. They shot 56%. Merrill was 3 of 4 from 3-point line. Okoro, 2 of 2. Nobody had bad 3-point numbers. Mobley was the only one who shot a 3 besides Niang was 0 for 3, right? Yeah. So was it the rotations? Do guys just get hot? I think it's a little bit of both. Got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing the conversation, we will be joined by Brendan Nunez and possibly Frankie Cardicelli. We'll see. Might be a full roundtable, might be a Kings Triangle. Kings talk when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The 49ers earned the NFC's top seed.
On the first play of the game, CMC Dynamite!
Join all of our shows. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles, and Watkins. And the Drive Guys as they follow their quest for a 6th Super Bowl title.
Pressured right away by Young and sacked by Eric Armstead.
Sactown Sports is your home for San Francisco 49ers football.
San Francisco!
It was 1879 when the first President's Day was established, and it's been a holiday ever since. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. I'm guessing when the Keys family opened the first Naturewood Home Furnishing store in 1948, a President's Day sale was not top of the mind. But the family probably celebrated the holiday with a picnic and a big slice of cherry pie. The store name Naturewood was selected to reflect the quality of the wood furniture for sale. And that focus on quality continues today with brands like FlexSteel, Trailway, Stickley, Fusion Designs, Stanton, and many, many more. The Naturewood Home Furnishings President's Day sale is the perfect time for you to find the right accent piece for your living room, a new bed for your bedroom, or to completely refurnish your entire home. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's President's Day sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo, with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. Plus line dancing, a mechanical bull, and Sacramento's best food trucks. One-day tickets are on sale now, starting at $46, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more info, visit CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by Hubble Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Tune in to Sactown Sports broadcast of the big game this Sunday afternoon between San Francisco and Kansas City. Sponsored by Xfinity. Stream your favorite live sports on the next generation Xfinity 10G network.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com. Now here's what I want you all to do for me.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Ask and you shall receive. Frankie Cardicelli. I almost said Frankie Nunez because of Frankie Muniz.
Wow.
That guy?
Oh, wow.
So we thought it would only be Brendan Nunez, and we were very happy to just have Brendan in a Kings triangle. But Frankie, the hardest working man at the station, decided to stop on by. Hope you guys had a good meeting. Thank you for joining us.
Had to see my guys out before you fly out to Vegas.
That's what this is really about.
Viva Las Vegas. You guys excited to get out there? Or?
Yes. Yes.
Well, Chris, you're the king of Las Vegas. You were just out there, a couple weeks ago?
It feels like it. It really does feel like it. I'm so sick of Vegas after this trip. It's not even fun.
Not possible. It's not possible.
I figured it out. I have been to Vegas more than I have been any other location in my life. Like as a destination.
How do you feel about
that? It's not great. It's not one of my proudest facts. And again, I'm very, very. I won't say I'm sick of Vegas, but I get it. I get.
And you
I
haven't
get
even done Vegas with me.
I haven't. No, but I'm very excited. It's going to be different. I'm excited.
What is that,
Alan's
Frankie?
You gonna run into Charvarius Ward out there?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully.
Yeah, we go
hopefully.
Are you a Vegas guy? Like, do you enjoy Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, I like Vegas.
Okay.
Do you not?
No, I do. I mean, we spent 6 days out there. The three of us, me, Chris, Brendan, and I spent
Was it 6
6 days out in Vegas. And I will say for Summer League, and it was. It made me not want to go back to Vegas for a while. But again, that's the heat of summer, the middle, like
6
literally
days is a lot.
116 degrees at every single. Remember walking from the parking lot to the arena was like a 3-minute walk, but you could just feel like your backpack like fusing to your like body. Like it just is so hot. So a little better as far as time of year you guys are going. That's nice. Nice weather probably. So.
Apparently it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
I didn't know that that's a thing. Apparently it's going to rain.
50s.
Oh, wow. Well, I saw a Mill wearing a beanie out there. So I was kind of wondering, like, does he need to have a beanie? But it's a desert, so it must be cold.
Yeah, it's not great out there.
So speaking of placing your bets, as we discussed a couple weeks ago, are you guys ready to admit that I was right as far as the Kings not making any moves? I mean, I put it on the table.
I mean, like that they're not going to?
Yes, that's right.
I still think they're going to. I don't know if it'll be
You're
small.
going to ride this out.
Like, no, it could just be something small. Like
but I wasn't
Kessler
counting
Edwards.
a Kessler
Okay,
Edwards
like
move.
DeLon Wright doesn't do it.
No,
right? Like,
no, I still win if it's DeLon.
Okay, that's fair. That's
if
fair.
I still win.
What was the bet you made?
There
with
was
us?
no
I don't
actual
remember this.
bet, but it was just me. Now I go on and other Kings Twitter people and media, and now all of a sudden I don't think the Kings are going to make a move. I didn't say per source because the source was me. And now everybody is saying, I don't think the Kings are going to make a big move. I was on this a month ago. I told you. 16 years.
There's still 48 hours.
16 years.
We still have 2 days to go.
16 years.
First and foremost. And second of all, this is not just a Sacramento Kings thing. It's an NBA thing.
There's nothing happening.
Nothing. I mean, when can you remember like this close to the deadline? And I saw someone, I can't remember who put it out there yesterday, but saying that Monday's usually when the wheels start turning and we kind of see some smaller deals happen. Nothing yesterday. Nothing. Today, 12:30 on Tuesday, not even a rumor. Like the DeJounte Murray to the Lakers thing's even like running out of gas.
Yeah.
Like, we have no rumors, nothing. The Kings have also been gone for 2 weeks, so I'm kind of looking forward to getting back in the building tomorrow. Maybe we get to see some people, hear some things. It's always fun at this time of year. But Yeah, I mean, I think you might have to kind of lower expectations a little bit. And maybe adding a player like DeLon Wright or a Royce O'Neal, which could help some of the holes the Kings have. Maybe that's what the Kings are going to do because, again, the internal improvements might have been enough to kind of sway this front office to stand pat. And I'm not sure how you guys feel about that, but how do you feel about that if that is the course of action they're taking because of Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes breaking out of a slump? Do you think standing pat is the wrong move, or do you think they need to go big?
But Kevin Huerter didn't break out of the slump.
I think from the numbers he has, as far as like it depends on the sample size, but he hasn't been playing as poorly as he was around the holidays and into the new year. Like he's definitely not the same player. I mean, the defensive end too, again, people have pointed out a lot of talk on social media about how he's taken a step forward on defense, kind of under the radar.
Yeah.
He's in games late. Like Mike Brown is keeping him in for a reason. Like
because he's a really good rebounding guard.
He's averaged 13, 4, and 4 over the trip on 39% from three in those 7 games on the road trip.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty probably solid. What you want from him, right?
And HB, by the way, 19 on 49% from the field, 42% from three. But that's kind of led to Keegan getting less shots. Yeah. And I think that's just kind of the give and take and the difference that we've seen with those. And I think that they're in a spot where they don't need to be hurried. I feel like we've talked about this before leading up to this, but the Kings are, again, in a spot where I think that they don't need to rush, that all these guys are locked up for 2+ years after this season, except Malik Monk, which you can figure out. And whatever you do this deadline really isn't going to affect if you can or cannot retain Malik Monk. So I don't think you need to be in a hurry. And this offseason, assuming that pick does go to Atlanta as projected, then I don't know the exact number. I have to sit down and do that. But the Kings get more draft picks available to them if they're going out and trying to get a star, because then the 2025 pick becomes on the table and they have every other pick still under their own control after this one that they owe to Atlanta. So I don't think they need to hurry. And again, I feel like this is what we've talked about before, but the wrong move is worse than no move.
So my question to you two both would be then, if the Kings don't do anything, what does that tell you about what the Kings hope to get out of this season?
I think it says more about what was out there rather than like anything about this season necessarily.
Well,
like,
you still have to play out this season. Are you punting?
Right.
Is that then
It's
saying
not
you're punting on this season? Are you still hoping for a second round appearance? What is that messaging to your fan base at that point if you're running it back and then not making moves at deadline?
You're hoping to get to the second round.
Yeah. And there's ways that you get better for when you eventually make another move, you know, like De'Aaron continuing to get better defensively and be more consistent. Keegan continuing to expand his game. Malik improving with the playmaking. Maybe you're figuring out what's going on with Davey on there. So there's still things you can figure out. But I guess it also would say that they don't think that they're like right on the edge of a championship team, because if you were, then you would go make a move. But I don't think that any of us think that they're there, and I don't think they are either.
I think it's a matter of, if again, like Brendan said, a matter of what's out there. There just isn't the kind of deals that are out there, the kind of players that are available right now, or maybe not for the price the Kings want. But I think there's also a thought process as far as maximizing the potential of this group. And this is kind of it. I think we all can agree, if this group does not attain the goal, which whether it's make the first round or go out of the first round, that's up for discussion. But if they don't get to the playoffs, this is the end of the line for this group. Like this collective 1 through 8, which has been completely intact since the beginning of last year. If they don't make moves now, they will this summer, because you can't go in the next season having your starting 5 be the same as now. Your first year off the bench being Davion, Malik, and Trey. Like, you're gonna have to change something. If you don't do it now, it might be later. But like you said, it's just a matter of the right players aren't, they're not available, or they're not for the asking price that the Kings are looking for.
But you're saying the line is missing the play-in / missing the playoffs.
If they miss the playoffs, yeah, I think you have to.
If they make the playoffs, you could go into the next season with the same starting 5.
No, I'm saying that if you lose in the first round, if you don't advance past the first round, that's my opinion. If you don't advance, I said it's up to you. People, remember we had a discussion, what is a successful Kings year, and there's a lot of people are saying making the playoffs is a success. I think, I don't know if it was you that said that. I think you might have. Not trying to flame you, Brendan.
A first round exit could work for me.
Sure, but
so that's my question. Is again, is what we're saying is if the Kings do nothing, then essentially results of this year don't matter. It's about the process.
I mean,
it's not so much about making the second round, being a second round team, being a first round team. It's more so this year is then just a straight process oriented year where this year is not about making it to the second round. It's about De'Aaron being closer to a superstar. It's about Keegan learning how to play in an advanced role, all that stuff. Results do not matter. And I think that's okay to say. I mean, only one team can win a championship. It's just,
right.
I'm just trying to,
if it's as black and white as like there's one winner and 29 losers, then like, sure, but I do think that this was always the case. Like that this was going to be a process, and throw playoff experience in there too is something that's valuable for these guys. Sure. Obviously a lot of them don't have much of it, and getting more of that is better for when you do have a roster that actually can compete. So I think that the eventual goal is a championship, obviously. And I think that this is, just part of that process, really.
All right.
Interesting.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, we'll talk about the current Kings that are on the court and the guys' expectations for what they'll do these next upcoming games. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Catch Stiles and Watkins live from Radio Row as they bring you the biggest guests in the NFL. Sactown Sports Radio Row coverage is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. When it's time for a road trip, prepare with a visit to Jiffy Lube for all your automotive maintenance needs, from oil changes to tire rotations and more. Jiffy Lube is your road trip headquarters.
Get the best local coverage of the big game with Stiles and Watkins.
Wednesday through Friday from 10 to 2 on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got good news. The American Energy Heat and Air $0 HVAC diagnostic has been extended to February 29th. That's right. It expired at the end of January, but want to give you all an opportunity who missed out to get in. It's a $99 value. All right, it's $100, and right now it's free. I don't know how much easier I can pitch that. Normally $100, now $0. Let the American Energy team test your system, your connections, and all the moving parts of that system to make sure it's functioning properly. And you know who's going to be coming to your home? A group of people that have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. A group of folks that have been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. $0 HVAC diagnostic. Normally a $100 value right now at American Energy Heat and Air. Go to AmericanEnergyAir.com or call them to make your appointment. 916-520-9990.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company, serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee-owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
When accidents turn life upside down, AutoAccident.com is in your corner. Compassionate advice, loyal support, and the courage to fight for you. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
We have a question for our Sactown Sports Kings insiders, Brendan Nunez and Frankie Cardicelli. Nice of them to join us a day early for a Kings Roundtable before Chris and I hit the road. And Nate Littlefield, by the way. Guys, don't let us forget before we leave. We need
Don't let us forget Nate.
Yeah, well, don't forget Nate. We need
Glad to be here, guys.
Your airport and plane pet peeves. I think Brendan's pretty chill. Frankie definitely has some pet peeves.
For sure, Frankie does.
I can just tell that.
Do I need to give them right now? I can.
I feel like we should.
Let's just get it. Yeah, we're already here. We're already here.
Airport pet peeves when people are like standing and trying to kind of like put their like shit in the middle of it. Go sit down and put your shoes back on. You can't with all your things and your belongings. You can't just take up the walkway. It's a very delicate situation. Go put your shoes back on.
Do you like flying? Are you a good flyer?
Yeah. I think that flying is like I have
doesn't sound like it.
Well, I pretend like I'm on a bus because like I don't like heights, so I get the aisle seat and just kind of like lock in and just like this is fine.
Yeah,
like, we're not 30,000 feet above the ground and just an aluminum tube. Like this is totally normal.
I didn't get the chance to jump in on this earlier. I got one that drives me crazy.
Okay.
The inconsistencies at TSA. I feel like every airport has different rules.
Yeah.
Sometimes the laptop's coming out. Shoes are usually always coming off, which is whatever.
Right.
But it's like they're like, okay, we have to put that in a separate box, and then they get mad. They have the audacity.
That's the thing. They get mad at you.
How am I supposed to know?
Yeah, a couple of flights ago, they didn't make me take my laptop out. It was really bizarre.
That's the
It's
one.
so stupid. And then sometimes people just walk through the thing.
Never to take it out.
They don't have to get the full scan. They just do the little metal walkthrough.
Never to take laptops out. Never said it. Put it back in the bag.
Give me a defined set of rules.
So I have my Roadcaster in my backpack.
It is hot.
And I'm trying to figure out, it's like a mini computer. I'm wondering if they're going to make me take that out or if it's basic, because you don't have to take tablets out.
So do you have to put that in its own bin? Your computer in its own bin?
That's what I'm wondering. I've never traveled with it before.
It's different airports, and they'll be like anything the size of your phone or bigger. I'll be like, okay, so I'll take my camera out, which is kind of big. I'll take it out, and they're like, oh, you don't need to do that. I'm like, oh, well, that doesn't make sense because that thing's just a big computer. Like, what do you want from me? You're ruining my life.
Then we're holding the line up. People are getting upset.
Smells like feet.
You're getting frantic. Smells like feet. Yeah, it's I think I'm a fine traveler, but I just don't like.
Yeah, Brendan Deitzman says pre-check is essential these days. Fat Cat Bakery says, fellas, TSA pre means no pulling out laptops. I know.
How much
every
is that?
time?
Yeah. How much is that a month? Or is it like
I just don't fly enough for it.
I don't either. That's the thing.
And we don't know how bad the Sacramento airport's going to be today. I feel like we'll be okay.
It's usually pretty easy.
Carmichael Dave does pre-check, I think. Is one time
not surprising.
Jason Ross and I in Portland were in line, like about to get to baggage.
He's probably waving at you.
We were kind of cutting it close to our flight, and Dave was out, like I think he was on the phone doing. He was not with us, and we're like, okay, he's gonna miss this flight. This line's going all the way out the door. It's like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Dave just comes strolling in with like a coffee or something.
A scone.
Cuts everybody and goes through pre-check. We see him at the terminal a few 20, 30 minutes later, and he's just like, I'm waiting here for like a long
That
time.
full flies private, so I don't know. I see him on jets all the time, so I don't know what that's
He
about.
doesn't need
Brendan, any pet peeves?
Yeah, I'll say first of all, I don't like checking bags. It's just really annoying. Like I've done a lot of flying, just like short flights, going visiting family to like Arizona or SoCal and things like that. And I always try to just stuff everything in my carry-on.
Yeah.
A backpack
For
and
sure.
a carry-on bag. I'm like, I don't want to check anything.
For Vegas, you did that. You brought a backpack for 6 days, and like, that's
it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be
is it a
shorter.
fear of losing something?
No, it's just it just adds to the process.
So I actually my wife is on her way here now because I did the same thing with you. Then I got here. I'm talking to Chris. I didn't want, and I don't know, maybe it's just I didn't want to be the guy. And she's calling now. I got to go grab it. I didn't want to be the guy that has the biggest suitcase, right?
Right.
So Chris has the biggest suitcase.
Was a thing.
Right. Hey, how long are you staying? Right. So I didn't
5 nights.
5 nights, right? So I stuff everything in, and then I say, oh, I think I forgot this. I think I forgot that. So now I'm getting the bigger suitcase. But if Chris wasn't going to check anything, I didn't want to slow down.
Yeah.
So that Chris is checking anyway. We're going to be together the whole time. So now we're all going to check. We're all checked together.
For sure.
That's how I heal. But the
Look at
thing
us,
is,
a bunch of idiots
I
checking bags.
don't mind checking if it's a direct flight. But I do have a fear of losing my stuff. If it's connecting,
I've lost a bag.
Very reasonable.
I can't get down.
Very reasonable, especially if you're going to like Mexico or something like that. It's the last thing you want to do is be stuck in Mexico for like 3 days and have no clothes to change.
Exactly.
I got one other quick one. When the flight ends and people stand up,
immediately.
waiting. Yes. I'm like, wait, there's an order to this.
Yes.
And eventually we will stand. Why are you standing and just all crooked neck underneath this?
Yeah,
how is that,
like, what are you doing?
But how is that not a widely known concept? Like, why are you standing up the moment the plane lands? You're right, Chris. That's a great way to put it. But it really does frustrate me. Great one. Frustrates me greatly.
There you go.
I'm happy I'm not traveling
By
now.
far the worst.
I hope you guys clap when you land.
No, we talked about that too.
If there's turbulence, I'm okay with it. I'll allow it if there is turbulence. Frankie, come on. What's the problem?
Turbulence is normal with flights, and the way that it was like explained to me, it's like potholes in the road. So there's no reason to be afraid, as scary as it seems. Like, it's very normal. So when you're clapping, that's like clapping for a bus driver that drove over. It's like a
Chris
couple
and Nate
bumps in the
didn't.
road.
Okay, Chris and Nate hadn't heard of this. Haven't you seen the show Why Planes Crash? Haven't you? Not that I've ever clicked on it, but you see it on the guide. Haven't you seen that?
I hope no one's listening to this on a plane.
No,
right
it's
now.
a show. It is a show.
I have not.
No.
I've watched documentaries.
Can someone help? Someone on the text line.
Anyone.
Sack chat, please. It's a show.
Okay.
It is a show.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. From the 530, speaking of the text line, do you see the Kings being able to win a championship with Fox and Sabonis as your two max contract players?
I mean, it's a tough question, right? Like we've talked about this before. There's not many guys that can be the best player on a championship team. And kind of since we talked about it, the closest parallel I had to, if you're saying De'Aaron's the best player, it's like kind of that Phoenix team when Booker was the best player. And I know they didn't win the finals, but I think if you're a good enough team to make it to conference finals, then anything can sort of happen from there. So yeah, I mean, they kind of have to be. You're probably not, it's going to be tough, very tough to go and get another guy. So I think that they're close enough that it's reasonable to believe that they can, and that's probably how the team should be functioning.
In this NBA, I don't know, but I think I think the better question is, what would you do if they weren't? Right? I mean, that's this is who you have, and it could be you could be worse off.
Yeah.
Much worse off.
I think the better question is like, what do you have to put around them in order to make them a championship team? Because I think, you know, even like, I mean, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown haven't been a good enough combo to win a championship, but I think we would all probably say that that is a good enough combo to do it. But it's about the guys you put around them. Like, you have, those guys need to have a point guard. With De'Aaron and Domas, I think they're going to have some sort of defensive minded shooter, maybe Keegan Murray, maybe somebody else, but I think they're going to need some other people to fill in the holes in which they lack, just like every other duo out there.
That's a great point, Chris, because Jokic has one. Jokic and Jamal Murray, they have one. Maybe they'll get one or two more. Who knows? Giannis has one. Okay. Joel Embiid has none. All right. Arguably the best team in the history of the NBA, just how they were constructed. The Warriors with Kevin Durant, they got two. It's just really hard to sustain. So that note about the Celtics is so true, because when you bring up all these 1As, and if you had Luka or if you had nobody right now, the guys that have the most rings are on their way out. Okay.
And it's not like LeBron anymore, where it's one man equals title opportunity.
No.
Steph Curry equals title opportunity.
Yeah.
The league is so deep. You need more than just your stars to win championships.
Which is a good thing, I feel like, for the
Absolutely.
Kings. Like, it's wide open. Like, the league's kind of wide open, or about to enter a period where
Especially
I think,
with the new CBA. Too.
Yeah, it's going to be very competitive, and, you know, it could be anyone's year any year. And the Kings obviously have two guys that are not by definition this year all-stars, but they are all-star talents. They're all NBA talents. And they're both very, like, De'Aaron Fox, 26, Sabonis, 27, relatively young for their NBA careers. They're both not even into their actual prime years. Yeah, I think Sabonis, you can make an argument, is entering his prime right now. They're missing one more piece. How do you get to that point? Can Keegan Murray be that piece and make the leap? That's the question. Do they have to go to the outside and find somebody? This year at the deadline, if people are hoping for that, I don't know if that fix or that player is there, but I feel like something will happen. There will be a big move that is made, or a decision that helps push this team forward, or attempts to push this team forward. But I think there's no question that those are the two guys that this group and this regime are, you know, they hitch their wagon to them. It's Fox and Sabonis.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, you look at OKC and Minnesota, the two teams. I didn't realize that OKC had caught up, and now they've tied for the 1 seed. And by the way, the Clippers and Nuggets are only half a game behind, both of them. So top four of the West is pretty convoluted right now, with the Kings sitting there at 5. But you look at 1 and 2, like OKC, you're talking about SGA. Minnesota, you're talking about Ant. And if you look at the Kings, you're talking about De'Aaron. And it's like, I think that De'Aaron is the worst of those three currently. But, I mean, I think he's probably close to, if not already in the same tier.
Yeah, I think in a perfect world, honestly, it has more to do with Keegan Murray. And I just don't know that based on the timelines, Keegan Murray can be a number 3 on a championship team. I just don't know if everything is going to line up like that. I think Keegan Murray as your number 4 and whoever that number 3 is, I don't know. And that's what they were trying to get earlier on in this trade season. That is when you're cooking. But I don't, and I like Keegan Murray, but the astronomical Kawhi type leap that everybody is hoping for in the third year, I would gladly be wrong. I'm just not sure that it happens. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, I'm going to grab my bigger suitcase and we're going to continue to talk Kings with the Kings insiders for Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings return home to host the Detroit Pistons.
Fox digs into the paint. He twists. He launches. He scores.
It's the Kings and Pistons.
Wednesday at 7 on your home for Sacramento Kings basketball, Sactown Sports.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Sneezing, coughing, stuffy nose, runny nose, postnasal drip, interrupted sleeping. I was groggy at the end of the day.
Allergies and sinus congestion were making Jana miserable. Then, a friend recommended Navage. Navage provides immediate drug-free congestion relief, flushing your nasal passages with refreshing saline and sucking out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Navage helps you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel your best right away.
Navage gave me instant relief. I didn't have to wait 30 minutes. I didn't have to wait an hour, 90 minutes. I didn't have to wait a minute. I ran the rinse and I felt better.
Stop suffering from congestion and start breathing and feeling your best again with Navage. Navage.
I've had people ask me how I find relief, and I tell them Navage immediately. This thing is amazing.
Navage is available at Navage.com or at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid.
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain, very intense. It can make your eyes water. It makes you walk funny because you're trying to get pressure off your heel. I had instability. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I was driving past the Good Feet store. I mean, why not? Give it a try.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure they fitted me with the right thing. And so they brought out several different arch supports and gave me the opportunity to try them in shoes and walk around with them until they found the perfect ones for my feet. I had no idea that they would be that patient, and I had no idea they would be that kind. And you just knew, like, your feet, just when they got on the right ones, they were like, oh yeah. And it really did make a big difference. It made my foot not hurt. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
The Kings insiders are joining us.
Yo.
Frankie Cardicelli and Brendan Nunez. All right, finally, somebody on the Sac chat from Trayshawn Myers. Airplane disasters.
Oh, boy.
Yes, I watch it all the time. Then says, but I stopped watching it because now I fly too much and don't want to be thinking about that while I'm 30,000 feet up.
Yeah,
LOL.
I mean, you're flying today. Like, why are you talking about it so much?
I'm just saying.
It's a great point, Brendan.
I just want to say I really care about you guys.
Statistics,
and I hope you fly well.
Statistics prove you're more likely to have something bad happen on the way to the airport than
we know.
I'm becoming increasingly uncomfortable with how much
we
we're
know
talking
that.
about
I got told one time the only dangerous part is when you land and when you take off.
It feels like that.
So I just clenched the heck out of those armrests during that time.
No, it feels
I disagree
like that
with that sentence. No, absolutely. Like there's still danger when you're floating through the middle of the air as well.
No, guys, pretend like you're on a bus. Just pretend like you're on a bus and you're gonna be fine. You're on the ground.
I believe
Chris,
in you guys.
you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine.
So opponents shoot 39% when they play the Sacramento Kings. What's that about, guys? Like,
Apparently,
come
this
on.
TSA deal is very good. $70 for 5 years. I might have to look into it.
I just don't travel that much.
I think I might actually need to because a lot of my family is back east, so I think I got to look into that.
Okay.
Can I, in order to aid Chris here and change the topic back to basketball, can I give a little bit of a, I don't know if it's a hot take, but everybody's talking about how this is a great road trip for the Kings, and it is. They went 5-2. They didn't play very good teams, is all I want to point out. I don't know if you guys have already talked about this. Golden State, currently 22-25. Dallas is a solid one, 27-23. Memphis, not good, 18-32. Indiana, okay, 28-23. Chicago, 23-27. You lost to Miami, who's right around 500, and Cleveland, easily the best team. They got smacked, the Kings, really. And understandable. Last game of a 7-game road trip. Cleveland's playing phenomenal recently. I think they'd won like 13 or 14, but you look at the road trip, like 117.4 offensive rating, 14th in that 7-game span among the NBA. 117.6 defensive rating, 20th in the last 7 games around the league. Minus 0.1 net rating, 17th in the league during that time. Like, did they do anything like amazing? Like, they won games, which is important, but I don't know. It was
to your point. Just to kind of piggyback off that. I hadn't really thought about it that way until I look at their expanded standings and their record. The Kings' record this year against teams that are above 500, 13-14. Their record against teams that are below 500, 16-6. And then again, their upcoming schedule, which goes hand in hand with they are still a top 5 team in strength of schedule. They have a very hard schedule ahead. This upcoming couple of weeks are really going to teach us a lot because after Detroit, which is a game tomorrow, I'm looking at saying, again, must win is a very heavily used term. I'm not going to say it, but you really need to take care of business tomorrow because you have Denver after that, Oklahoma City, Phoenix, Denver, the Spurs at home, a little breather, you think. And then you have the Clippers, Miami, Denver, and Minnesota. Like there's really 2 out of the next 11, 12 games.
Which is funny because
they're not horrible.
Right. Which is funny because of the trade deadline and where it's positioned. You could come off of this road trip thinking, okay, the Kings are in a great spot. I think Monty McNair knows much more about the ins and outs of basketball than I do, but you could leave feeling good about it, not make a move, and then get smacked back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity, and be like, we're done. We can't do anything. Now you're looking at guys that have already been released. That's the problem. So we're going to know very quickly if they made the right or wrong decision because of the upcoming schedule.
And it's so immediate. I mean, again, if the Kings do make a move, a multiplayer move on Thursday, they play Denver on Friday.
Right. Exactly.
So, but again,
they won't.
Well,
they won't
you really never know. We woke up the morning of the Sabonis Haliburton trade thinking there was gonna be nothing going on, and then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, Woj bomb. But I do think that that's kind of the hard part about where the deadline is and where this tough part of a schedule is, because if the Kings were to navigate this crazy stretch of games, like just now, if the 7-game road trip was instead against all those opponents, and the Kings went, 3-4 during that 7-game stretch against the Denvers, OKC, Phoenix, you'd have a better idea of what holes are. Oh, wow, these are teams that the Kings will be playing in a 7-game series.
Right.
These are the holes that we really need to address. They might have to go through the deadline and then find out what those problems are against these teams.
That's the problem.
Because they're seeing them all at once. They're seeing all of these teams around them. And again, Denver, OKC, Phoenix, Denver again, Minnesota. Those are all the teams that are above them. in the standings. So it's really going to be kind of an interesting time for them to either work in a new roster if they do make moves, or dig deep and try to make the roster and the guys they have now, the personnel they have now, get you to where you want to be, because the schedule's not slowing down. It's going to get harder, and March gets a little better because the Kings play, I think, 12 or 13 games at home, but it's going to get a lot harder before it gets easier. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like the Kings have kind of been let down by the fact, and it's not fair, but it's how it works, but the Kings really played well in a couple games this road trip, but more so the Chicago loss, like there's the big comeback, and Memphis looked terrible. That game was just not exciting to watch. Like the Kings got the results, but I think the way in which they got the result didn't do them many favors. Are we possibly overlooking the fact that the Kings did play well on the road trip? Just some of those games didn't look as good as maybe what they should have.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of tough because really I look at the trip and I'm like, okay, Domas obviously playing ridiculously, racking up numbers. And then the big difference feels like HB getting more shots. Again, averaged 19 points on 49 from the field, 42 from 3 during that stretch. And it's like, that stands out. Also, the rotation stands out as different. The only guys to play all 7 games are your starters, Monk, Mitchell, and Lyles.
It's a good note.
And I feel like those have been kind of the differences. Outside of that, like from the games, I don't know, it feels like the same team. They've played well, and you have to give them credit because you only can play who's in front of you. I think the home team going on a run after you get up big is going to happen when you're on the road. It's how extensive is that run? When are you able to nip it and shorten it? And I don't think the Kings did a great job of controlling those throughout the course of this, but they won the game. So it's tough. I don't really know what to make of it, but I feel like there's been some slight rotational changes and pecking order changes, but it's really been the same team. I don't know if I have updated thoughts on them.
Would you have felt any differently? This is for both of you. Chris and I talked about it a little bit earlier in the show. Would you have felt differently about this road trip and what we're even talking about, Frankie, with that test, right? Because everything that you just explained, the Kings taking care of business against a team that they should and losing to the upper echelon teams, that's basically what a 5 seed is, and that's exactly what they are. Would either of you have felt differently about the Kings, very simply, if they won last night? To me, last night would have made me feel like, okay, they're really cooking here. That's a top 3 team, a red hot top 3 team. And it's just that level that the Kings cannot, that hump they can't get over to be elite this year. Last season was a different story, but this season to where it's, they're about a 5 seed.
Yeah, I mean, if they would have won last night, it definitely would have had me feeling like very confident about them coming home. Just the fact that they beat the hottest team in the NBA right now. They've won 14-15 after last night. They played Cleveland well earlier this year, and I was kind of like having to look back and say, was Cleveland missing anybody? No, They had everybody. Everybody was playing. Kings really just kind of handled them that whole game. And it doesn't really change much for me just because of the fact that when you look at what goes into a 2-week, 7-game trip, I think these guys were just trying to get home and get through it. And obviously they were fighting the whole time. Like the fight was there. And that's why the final score doesn't really truthfully reflect the effort. I mean, was it a loss? Yeah, a loss is a loss. And I'm not looking for moral wins at this point. The Kings we're a year and a half past moral victories. I totally get that. But they just, for some reason, were within 10 with like 8 minutes left. And it just didn't really feel like that kind of game. And things really got away late in garbage time, and the Cavs went on a run. They had a great night from 3. But to me, what really will make me feel different, or what I think I'm going to learn a lot, is this upcoming stretch. I think that when we get to, I'm looking at when the schedule even quote unquote opens up again, it's March 4th against Chicago. They have Chicago, LA, San Antonio, and Houston after that. I want to see where the Kings are after that. How do they get through this stretch against all these teams that they would be hypothetically facing in a 7-game series? If the playoffs started today, I think the Kings will be playing Denver in a 7-game series. And again, that's a team the Kings they've played them well since last year.
But no thanks.
Yeah, they're the defending champions, and they have that extra gear they can turn to. So I want to see what happens over this upcoming stretch. But the road trip, I feel nothing but positive about a 5-2 road trip.
I think you just never know what team's going to show up when it comes to the Kings. And maybe that has to do with a little bit of De'Aaron being the head of the snake and kind of being the same thing. You know, he has some inconsistencies for sure, but team's 14th in offense, 17th in defense, dead smack middle, 15th in net rating. And it's just like, I don't know what on any given night shots are going to fall there or not. That's fine. You know, that's part of it. But defensively, I have no clue what Kings team we're going to get any given night.
There's a question in the chat. I would love to get your guys' opinions on this real quick because
the one to you,
I was
going to say the same thing.
I don't have a clear answer about why Alex Len has not been in the rotation. And I do feel like there wasn't really, I mean, again, no one's asked. There hasn't really been any questions asked about why Alex has fallen out. I think Mike likes to try out different things. Again, JaVale McGee played in the first half last night and didn't play again after that, which we see a lot. There's a lot of JaVale McGee playing early and then Trey Lyles closing out games,
which says something, by the way.
But why not Alex Len, who has been such a good screener and a good rebounder, and he brings a physical presence in the paint, and I just feel like he is a better fit with that second unit. I'm not sure if you guys have any ideas why, but I mean, that's something hopefully we can learn more this week or when we're around the team more. But it is a head scratcher why the Kings went away from him when they relied on him so heavily at the end of last year into the playoffs and at the beginning of this year when he came back from the ankle injury, and then all of a sudden nothing. So I'm not sure what the reason is. I'm not sure if you guys had any ideas either, but doesn't really make sense to me.
No ideas. No, I would just assume it's the same plan as last year for whatever. I can't give you a good answer, but if I had to assume, I would just say they did this with Alex last year. It wouldn't surprise me if they do it again with him this year, that, you know, maybe for whatever reason, they're just holding him in the garage until the last week of the season. Because everything I've seen from Alex Len has not been terrible. It definitely has not been worthy of being benched. And there's definitely been some moments with JaVale where it's just like, I don't understand. Like I would get if maybe there's not another option to go to, but Mike Brown just seems like he really prefers JaVale. And I think it might just be as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, JaVale has a lot of good moments. He has a lot of like uniqueness about him that he provides. That like lob threat for being as big as he is, as long and like mobile is valuable for sure. And I think that he does deter shots. Like guys see him down there and think twice, or will maybe just kind of gnash around the basket rather than going up. And even just the raw, like guys will just not attempt sometimes when JaVale is there. I kind of think both those are true for Alex too, outside of the lob threat though. Like you can play that pick and roll game. Anybody want to guess? Alex Len has the highest net rating on the team this year. It's not even close. Trey Lyles is at 6. What do we think Alex Len is at? He's played, how many minutes do we got here total?
So what we're saying is Alex Len is the secret weapon.
Right.
That the Kings are having.
Not
like last
so
year.
secret. I would say not so secret.
Not so secret.
Like we've seen it. That's the difference. To me, that's the problem with what I don't understand about this year versus last year is last year you could say, I mean, yeah, we tried everything. And then the last week of the season, we said, you know, we haven't tried everything. Let's try Alex. This year, they tried Alex from pretty much the start of the year. I didn't see much problem with it. It's just seems like he went away. To answer your question, I would say plus 40.
20.6 net rating.
What?
20.6 net rating.
So is that like 100 and
that's
120?
On average.
What
yeah,
are the,
122.7 offensive rating and 102.2 defensive rating.
Even on the back-to-backs, the Kings, they didn't see him. So I'm just, you know, maybe we see more of him at this, actually not really a homestand, just 2-game mini homestand. Maybe they see him. They do tend to lean on him against Jokic. I feel like that might be a matchup we see Alex on because they even started him, I think, when
Hey, you haven't played in 5-6 games. Here's Jokic.
2-time MVP.
Here you go.
Yeah.
That was like when they threw out Sasha in Philly. Nationally televised game, hasn't played in how long. Yeah. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, one more segment with the Sactown Sports Kings Insiders. Continue to get your questions and comments in, and we will answer and react to them. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
From the 916, using a 5-game road trip where you played a bunch of garbage teams as a justification to not make a move at the deadline is so kang.
When did he say we say that? Did he say we
no?
say that?
No.
Oh,
Just
okay.
using a 5-2 road trip where you played a bunch of garbage teams as a justification not to make a move at the deadline is so kang.
I don't think that's a reason why they wouldn't make a move.
No,
I don't
think
think
it
either.
impacts the front office, but I think I said this last week that I think the only two ways that you'd be forced into making a move are if you've lost the locker room, which I think going on a win streak like this helps, if that was even a risk, which it didn't seem like it was, or pressure from ownership. And this could make it a little easier to not have pressure from ownership if that existed previously. Don't know. It would make it easier to justify it to your ownership. So if anything, I think that it helps their external pressures, they being the front office.
I'm just worried because the Kings could look like they have egg on their faces so quickly. So quick within this month, just based on the teams that they have to face. And maybe that this will bring them together. I don't know.
Well, if they survive this stretch, but by survive, I mean, don't go on a 9-10 game losing streak. I mean, if they can split even their next 10 games, I'd look at that as a win being 9 games over.
We said 4-4, maybe 5-3 over these next 8.
Yeah, then I think you're in a really good spot. Your schedule gets significantly easier, as far as a matchup standpoint. Anything can happen any given night. We have learned that by now. There are no true easy wins, but your schedule opens up. You don't have to, I'm pretty sure you do not have to face Phoenix again after this upcoming stretch. Denver, I believe, is done as well. Oklahoma City, I think they're done with as well after this upcoming stretch, after Super Bowl Sunday. So, I mean, to go back to that though, I don't think that the road trip had any indication whether or not the Kings would or would not have made a move. I mean, maybe a 7-game losing streak, we're talking about something drastic, sure. But I mean, they just had a great road trip. It doesn't matter who you're playing. Going on a 7-game, 2-week road trip season-long road trip is grueling. It's lengthy. It can wear you down. Kings came out of it 5-2. Chemistry seems intact. They're going to come home and have to evaluate what the roster needs to look like going into the deadline. But I mean, again, it's a matter of the whole NBA market. There's not any trades happening at all right now. Maybe things change and they happen. Things start flooding in Thursday. But I think it's more than a Kings thing.
Yeah, I'm just looking here just for fun, if you want to call it that. In April 4th and April 5th, a back-to-back at Knicks, at Celtics.
No,
I can't worry about that yet. I can't worry about it.
And then 11th and 12th, home, Pelicans, and you were wrong, Frankie. Pelicans.
Oh, I'm warm.
And then the Suns again, back-to-back.
That's right. They played them 5 times this year because of the that added in game because of the play-in.
That's right.
So
and those are that's the 5, 6, 7 Kings, Suns, Pelicans, and you don't want to be a playing team.
I was going to say, is there any concern? I'm looking here, just heading into the All-Star break, the Kings could potentially be on a 4-game losing streak, or at least just playing 4 really tough opponents. You have 2 games against Denver. You have the home game against Denver, at OKC, at Phoenix, at Denver, and then you head into the All-Star break. Is there a chance, to Alan's point about the Kings possibly not wasting time to look like they have egg on their face. Is there any concern that heading into the All-Star break, if you do start to slide some games and you're sitting at a 7 seed, like, I mean, I guess at that point there is nothing you can do because you're past the trade deadline, but is that a concern at all? Or is that just something where you might just have to wear that and understand that, regardless, you're going to have to perform in the second half of the season or whatever, the remainder of the season anyway.
They're not dropping 4.
I don't think so either.
Denver,
but like,
2 games against Denver, at OKC, at Phoenix.
No, but
those are all very losable games.
No, but I would say, does it still look bad if they lose? If they drop, I could see them dropping 3.
Sure,
1 and 3.
If that happens, I mean, at least you're going to the break to kind of regroup and reassess.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, like you said, there's no one's going to come to that door. I mean, there's a buyout market. Like,
right.
you want to get Chris Paul in the
but
buyout
then you're a
market,
7 seed talking about trying to buy somebody out.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be concerning. I mean, there's no way to slice it. If you lose 4 games in a row, I don't really think it matters who the opponents are. It's going to be concerning. And for a team like the Kings, who's supposed to be mentioned, or they want to be mentioned in the same breath as these teams that are, that they're going to face, like Oklahoma City, Denver, Phoenix, those teams you want to be in the same group as, you got to take care of business. And a 4-game losing streak would be concerning for sure. But at that point, it is what it is. No one's going to come in through that door, help out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much more outside of that. Like, I think that you really just want to try and avoid the play-in is, I feel like, going to be the conversation that we're going to have for the rest of the year is try to not be in the play-in. And as we get closer, it's like, okay, that's
when we can worry about April,
right? Some matchups or things like that we'll start to be able to figure out a little bit better, but just stay out of the play-in. And if they're going to they're an aggressive team, they're in rumors for everybody. And some of that is probably them getting used as leverage because everybody knows that they're buyers and things like that. But the front office is going to try to find something that will work them closer to an eventual championship rather than like, how do we improve this season and this season alone? So if they don't make anything, it won't be for a lack of trying. And if you drop 4, then it is what it is, really, to me. Like, that's not oh my gosh.
You don't
like,
think it makes them look worse?
It makes you look worse. I don't think they care, though.
Yeah. They know that's a possibility.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Well, I hope. I
don't like how I feel leaving this conversation.
Yeah, why are you so negative?
No,
why? Don't look at me.
I will say,
Chris says drop 4. I said they'll get 1.
I will say the Clippers game. I think I was calling you negative. I'm like, I'm being so negative, and the Kings got rolled by I think like 30 or something that night.
So to flip it the other way, if they won 3 of those games and didn't make a move, are they justified? Is that the way to put it in your mind?
So.
I would say yes. Because that would.
I don't think so.
That would be them doing something that they haven't done before, Chris.
What's that?
They have not beat elite teams in any stretch.
Like consecutively?
Yes. Not since the beginning of the season. I'm not counting the Thunder Cavs because it was too early.
No, you're right. I mean, I'm looking at the schedule here, and
every opportunity they've had, they've tricked off.
I think that, not to be like dramatic, I do think that we are going to learn over the next 10 games who the Sacramento Kings are. I think that it's fair to say we're going to learn who the Sacramento Kings are. Because again, I'm looking, and you're right, I'm looking at the schedule, and there are some good wins in here. Like, they beat Dallas twice. I mean, they were missing Kyrie one time, but like the Golden State-Dallas game, I mean, Golden State isn't a good team. Like, their record's not good, but they saw the guys that have been a complete thorn in Sacramento's side. Yeah. And the fact they picked that win up and they won that game, I think is kind of telling to where hopefully that rivalry word is not used heavily. I know, but where that, what people want to be a rivalry or a team that played each other a lot, whatever De'Aaron Fox, how he put it, that's a good sign that you beat Dallas. But yeah, I think that this upcoming stretch is not something we've seen them play before. Even back to like last year, I can't remember a stretch where it was just like a gauntlet of contender after contender after contender. So I'm definitely intrigued to see what happens.
There you go. All right, guys, any thoughts for us before we leave for Vegas?
No. Okay. So different basketball question. Instead of taking it to flights for your guys' sake.
You're going to.
Appreciate that.
Chris keeps giving me evil stares.
How much better is this team if they trade for, let's say, Royce O'Neal? And say that you move like, I'm just throwing out a hypothetical here, like Chris Duarte, a guy that's not playing right now, and you get a 7th, 8th guy. is this team, how much better is this team?
I could feel more confident that they'll get to the second round.
That's how I feel.
But they're still going to get bounced in the second round.
A little bit better. I think you're taking a little step forward with a move like that. Yeah. I mean, I think that if you were to make, like, if you could bring in DeLon Wright and Royce O'Neal to kind of just bolster that bench, like, I feel like that would be a pretty good couple of moves there. Like, that won't cost much. Like, that's Duarte, maybe Davion, maybe future seconds. I mean, there are moves that can be made that are like for fringe, like, Thibault. I know it's not the sexiest moves you can make. It's just like Thibault will be great. I think he has the right to.
Yeah, he has a no trade clause
because of the restricted. Yeah, he picked up the player or the 1 year deal, I think. But that'd be like a dream scenario. I think like Matisse Thibault on this Kings team would be great. But
I would just wonder what would be the point. Like what because then you're kind of saying, okay, Royce O'Neal to me feels like a deal to get better for this year, but I don't know if Royce O'Neal's making you better next year or 2 years down the line. And so it's kind of living in two timelines, but neither timeline is that great. Like I don't know what the point of that would be. I think if you're trying to get to the second round, well, then you can be a little bit more aggressive than Royce. I don't know what the long-term benefit would be if this team is already established that we don't really care about this season at that point.
Well, they do care about the season. And I think that like the process we talked about before about how like just all the things that would be beneficial for this team getting to the second round, how much that help in the future. So like say that 1 year stopgap half season of Royce O'Neal, Thibault, whatever, DeLon Wright, like helps you get to the second round. Even if those guys don't come back, that's still beneficial in the long run.
For sure.
And it gives you the opportunity to like, do we like this guy? Do we want to keep him around eventually? So like,
but if you end up losing in the first round, then it becomes
it didn't really do anything as long as it didn't cost you.
You shuffled the deck just to shuffle.
Right.
Quick question before we go. Just trying to remember, was Dante DiVincenzo a restricted free agent going into that offseason that the Kings?
I don't remember if it was restricted.
Didn't they?
It was restricted.
Did they like renounce his restricted rights and let him? Maybe would have been nice to kind of go back.
Yeah, you know, Dante DiVincenzo is like perfect for the team right
maybe
now.
Do that
so
one
is
over.
Bogdanovich.
We talked about both of those situations the other day.
It's all good.
Maybe
I was a big Dante guy.
Might have want to retain Dante on a restricted contract.
Well, maybe they should have started him down the stretch of the or down the end of the season.
I don't know, Justin Holiday, man.
Yeah, Justin Holiday, unforgettable Kings career.
That was all to. I mean, what we thought was diminish value and make it so they could afford to keep his contract. Yeah. Oh, did you write about that?
Yeah, I definitely did.
Wow,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
That was true.
Dante's agents were very unhappy that he was not starting, and they thought that it was messing with his eventual value as he's going into his first big contract.
And now look what he's doing in New York.
Yep.
So.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. We got to get to a break. Thank you for listening to our Kings Roundtable. Be sure to catch Brendan Nunez and Frankie Cardicelli on their socials and also at SactownSports.com. We'll be right back with some prop talk and maybe a dog segment because we might not get to it tomorrow. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and all NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Tuesday forecast includes a mix of sun and clouds. Mainly a dry day, but I won't rule out a passing shower or two for the afternoon. Highs today will peak in the upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Hagen Oaks is introducing the hot new Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke line of drivers, fairways, hybrids, and iron sets that are sweeter from every spot. AI Smoke is designed with thousands of real player data and a revolutionary new AI Smart Face for sweet spots across the entire face. Ask about the full line of Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke woods and irons and find your sweet spot at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at HagenOaks.com.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Bradley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. Plus line dancing, a mechanical bull, and Sacramento's best food trucks. One-day tickets are on sale now, starting at $46, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more info, visit CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by Hubble Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com, or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let's fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $67. Plumbing, sewer, electric, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696355.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Thank you to our Sactown Sports Kings insiders, Brendan Nunez and Frankie Cardicelli. This is from the 916. Will you be talking about the A's, Oakland A's breaking news, or since Chris doesn't like baseball, you aren't going to touch it?
Wow. Is that a reference to the mayor? The Vegas mayor?
I asked Chris, I said, is there more breaking news? I was going to say to the 916, you can check it out. It's already potted. We spoke about that during the 11 o'clock hour number 2. So that should be up. But of course we talk.
I have
Chris,
no idea what you're talking about.
There are people that like baseball way less than Chris.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm right here.
It's kind of a bit, honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of like me and like the height thing. It's just kind of a bit, right?
Yeah,
it's
that's a bit. It's not
you're
actually
real, right?
Yeah.
It's not real.
Yeah.
It's not real. We just kind of play it up.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
We just
right?
play it up.
We just play it up. That's exactly
or in
what
some
it is.
cases, play it down.
Okay. So, yes, check the Sactown Sports app, SactownSports.com, or anywhere you listen to good and great podcasts. And during the 11 o'clock hours where we discuss the mayor of Las Vegas saying that the A's should do everything in their power to stay in Oakland, then essentially acting like she's walking it back in a statement, but not actually walking it back, really just saying it in a more, I guess, a more precise matter.
Yes.
And that's what happens when you hop on these podcasts, things get said.
If I could just plug our show too, like
I would hope so.
Everything is on YouTube if you want to go back and rewatch it. The second hour is when we talked about that. iTunes, any podcast place, it's all up there. So if you want it, they're posted right now.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, I've checked.
Apple Podcast, whatever it is.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I've checked. It's all there. This is from the 916. Sorry, he said he hates no hitters.
I did say that.
Really? I'll listen. Thanks. Shout out to the 916.
You did, yeah.
That means this is a throwback listener because you said that a while ago.
Yes.
So shout out to the 916. Thank you for being a loyal listener.
Yes,
Let's get to
appreciate it
another
a lot.
loyal listener on the call line on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Let's get to TC, who wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, TC? What you got for us?
Stiles Watkins, what's going on?
What up,
man?
TC?
Just living. What you got for us?
I already know, man. Y'all be safe on that trip, man. Y'all going to Vegas. Y'all be safe on that, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
For sure. This is look. So I got a 2 points. So let's keep the Niners quick, and then I'm gonna jump Kings. Niners. This is all on Shanahan. This is not on Brock Purdy. This ain't on the defense. This ain't on nothing, bro. This dude has to get in his bag He was opening up yesterday, filling himself off the drink, being honest and truthful about all the situation that was going on. Okay, well, you being truthful like that, brother, let's go win the game then. I need you to keep that same energy with that playbook since you want to open up and be super honest about everything. Also, the Kings, we lost a game last night. It had me living. I'm still sweating and mad about the situation. When Domas got stripped last night by Strus, and then just watch Strus walk out to the three-point line when we were in the middle of a run to come back and win the game.
To the ref, too.
Bro, he complained to the ref and turned and looked at it. He shrugged his shoulders. Like, I don't care. I'm not going to jump out there. I said, are you serious? Bro, you should have heard how loud I yelled in my house last night. That play. Just the whole game we was fighting. That play, though, Chris Stiles and Watkins, I'm still living, bro. I don't understand that play. Can you please explain it? That's all I got.
No, I mean, there's no justification for it. You're right. I honestly did completely forget about that play. You're right to be upset by it, especially from Domantas Sabonis. Like, that's a guy who the Kings are going to look at to bring 100% effort on every play, and not playing defense because you personally are the reason why the ball was turned over. That's bad teammate 101. And I'm not saying Domas is overall a bad teammate, but in that moment, you have to be better than that. You can't just completely leave Max Strus to TC's point, who was on fire.
Yeah, he was not missing.
Absolutely in fuego. You can't just leave him to prove some bigger point, and especially not when you need every single possession you can get in a game like that.
Yeah, it's just what it is. Yep. Strus again, 6 for 10 from 3-point range. I don't even remember his 4 misses.
I definitely don't.
They must have been in the first half because it did not seem like he missed anything in the second half. And like we talk about, you get that conversation, or you get that confidence going, and that's just how things kind of roll. We are going over our prop talk from yesterday real quick. What TC had to say about Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, I think a lot of it, as we joked about whether he was enjoying himself prior to it, he was really open. He was really candid yesterday. I think a lot of people enjoyed that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, you do have to get it done.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that's why I think the Niners do feel really good about this game. They're doing a lot of talking, right? I think real quick.
What? Hold on. What do you mean a lot of talk? Like the Bosa holding stuff? Like what are you talking about?
The Bosa holding stuff, right? I shouldn't say a lot, but
it's not like taunting. It's not.
No. I would say that the Chiefs are being more
arrogant,
boring. No, okay. I think the Chiefs are saying all the right things. They get asked about the Niners. They show the Niners all the respect.
I keep seeing like the boos and Travis Kelce being like, keep booing me.
What is he supposed to say?
No, I'm serious. That's what I thought you were trying to say.
But you know what, though? I can't decide if I like it or not, or if I think it's corny, cool, or corny. Here's another one for you. The fact that these guys, the Niners, and I get it, they're really close, but they really didn't break character as far as some of the press conferences, and what we're going to get an opportunity to talk to a lot of these guys in Vegas. But Debo being asked, like Brock was actually the realest one to some degree. Brock was asked, if you were making a fantasy team, who would you pick? Brock said, I would take all of our skill players and I would take Josh Allen as my QB. Brock said that last night. Yeah. So I think there were probably some Niners content creators saying, Brock doesn't know ball. He should pick himself. He should pick himself. What I was going to say was with Debo was asked for his top 5 wide receivers, and he names all of the Niners wide receivers. And I'm just thinking, can you just answer the question? Maybe that's just me. At some point, can we just have conversations now?
Well, if he says the other ones, then it's the same way, it's like, oh,
he left somebody out.
Yeah, and
well, he did. He left off. Somebody joked, said, "Where's Ronnie Bell?"
Yeah,
he didn't name Ronnie Bell.
It's just a no-win scenario.
There was another one too, where the person only picked. And I get it. Maybe they're just trying to show us all how close they are.
Sure.
But it would be interesting to know what you think. And that's not really Debo's bag. That's not what he does. But at some point, I'm just all right.
I think the best thing you could do at media day is do nothing. To me, like is again like.
So you like what Debo did?
I wouldn't say
closest
I prefer
to nothing,
it,
right?
But I mean, I wouldn't say I prefer that. Like, of course, I would love hilarious answers and things that we can joke and make fun of and play on air. But at the end of the day, if you're, I would much rather have Debo say that than what Charvarius Ward said, because I think that, you want to be boring. You don't want to give any sort of bulletin board material. You don't want to distract. You don't want to create a headline that then people ask you about the entire week, because this is the week where every single question that can be asked will be asked. I think that it's calculated to be boring.
Yeah, he also got, not spicy, but he also, somebody from the Philadelphia Inquirer asked about the Eagles, and Debo said, this is done.
Yes. Yeah.
Debo said, we're not talking about that anymore.
Good. I think he said that rivalries are close games.
Yes, that's what he said.
Neither game has been close. So it's
right.
like,
So this is done with. All right, for prop talk, I guess we can go over our props. I broke even with Keegan Murray. He had 2, and it was set at 2.
Yeah, what's up with that? I don't like that. I like when it's a half.
I don't either. I would have got hooked then. I would have got hooked because it wouldn't have been 1.5. Trey Lyles, Chris, you hit. He had 7.
Barely.
Hey, you're surviving.
I guess. Yeah.
Nate, you did not hit.
Close, though. I was playing on hard mode. I had De'Aaron Fox 3.5 threes, and he ended up making 3. So
really?
I was my streak has ended, and that's fine. I'm here to play.
Yeah.
There you go.
You got close enough to where you still got to believe there's a little magic.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm not actually putting finances towards this.
No chicken on it. All right.
No
got to
chicken.
get to a break. When we get back, crossover crosstalk with the Drive Guys, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Catch Stiles and Watkins live from Radio Row as they bring you the biggest guests in the NFL. Sactown Sports Radio Row coverage is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. When it's time for a road trip, prepare with a visit to Jiffy Lube for all your automotive maintenance needs, from oil changes to tire rotations and more. Jiffy Lube is your road trip headquarters.
Get the best local coverage of the big game with Stiles and Watkins.
Wednesday through Friday from 10 to 2 on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Okay, 3 more climbers, 7 loggers.
Ted's sustainably sourced logging company is growing a new branch.
What about truck driver contracts?
Which means a new HR manager will be the first hire to fall.
Then we'll need to staff up the warehouse.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. Because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. As the region's largest sewer utility, we own and maintain thousands of miles of sewer pipe. And our job is to get to your sewer problem before it interrupts your life. So whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night. The Sacramento Area Sewer District. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino in Elk Grove. Enjoy over 80 table games, the hottest slot machines, and our thrilling high limit room. Plus, with Sky River rewards that add up and up, and 17 bars and restaurants to experience. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Made
Meda Chevy has 2.9% APR financing on every new 2020 Ford half-ton Silverado in stock. 2.9 for 72 plus great Meda Chevy savings on new Silverado. Online at MedaChevy.com. Together, let's try.
Sactown Sports will be road tripping to Vegas to cover the big game. Brought to you by Jiffy Lube, your place to take your car before your next road trip.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Whitey Gleason joins us. Whitey Gleason joins us for some crosstalk.
Crosstalk. Boom, boom. Got a feud ready if you need one.
Do I need one?
Let's do it for the road. One for the road.
Come on.
Chris is ready.
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
I saw Drapes in the building too, so he should be showing up. So he can mediate this or something.
Let's do it.
I saw him.
Let's do it.
The feud?
Let's
do
do
it. All right.
Fire it up.
The last episode of the feud before Chris and Alan head to Las Vegas, Nevada.
And during the break, Whitey was telling us how much he wishes he was going instead of us.
No, yesterday you guys had a meeting. I felt bad. I went in there and it wasn't my meeting. And I went and I said, hey, and I realized when I left, those guys probably just wanted to get out of that meeting. So
Whitey, I haven't eaten in 6 hours.
I know. Hey, I've been in those meetings.
One thing you guys should think about doing. I'm like, Whitey, I'm so hungry right now.
Whitey, I don't know. You came in there. You had some pretty good jokes, and that's what I'm here for.
Great stuff.
You gave me some ideas and had some one-liners that were good. I appreciated it.
Hey guys, when you interview someone, ask good questions.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, that's a radio veteran.
We did, Whitey. We did think about what about asking them if they have any good impressions or secret talents to kind of end some of the interviews. What do you think about that?
It's risky because what if you got somebody to go, nope.
Well, then we just let them end of the interview.
Yeah.
End of the interview.
Wait, Whitey, do you have any?
I have too many.
Oh, okay. All right.
He does honestly
we don't have enough time.
Can you do a Steve Harvey for the Family Feud?
Nope.
Okay. The other guy who kisses all the girls. What was his name?
Richard Dawson?
Yes.
Nope.
We can't do it.
All right.
As he did it to say his name, Richard Dawson. No, don't have that.
8 teams on the board, okay?
Okay.
So, you shout your name to Buzz in here. Can you name the team that's been to the Super Bowl the most times without ever winning a Super Bowl?
Oh, my God.
No, Alan.
Yeah.
The Bills.
Bills tied for the number one answer?
Yeah, they sure are tied. They sure are tied, aren't they,
Whitey? Chris didn't get
They're
that.
really tied, aren't they?
But you have the board, Alan. You
They
can
sure
pass
are tied.
or play.
I'm going to pass.
Pass to Chris Watkins.
Yeah.
So 7 teams left here. Basically, every team that went to a Super Bowl
Yeah.
and never won one is on the list.
Not a single win in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Okay.
Oh,
got
not a
this.
single win.
Yeah.
Nope. Most
Okay.
appearances without ever winning.
Well, I know who's up there, so I'm going to hold on to that one for a while.
I thought you want to get it out of the way.
No, I
Rip
think
the
we're just
Band-Aid off.
going to keep that one holstered. Can I see the Carolina Panthers?
Carolina Panthers.
At least twice.
Yeah, they're 0-2
Nice.
Super Bowl
Yeah.
play. Well
Yeah,
done.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Job,
Appreciate it.
Chris.
I got to think of teams. See, like the Jaguars haven't even made the Super Bowl, so it's
They're
not
a
gonna be a
relatively
team
new
that's up there.
franchise.
Yeah, exactly. The Ravens are too, but they've won before. Let's go
Twice.
with that's true as well. Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
One of the best Super Bowls I've ever seen. They
Really?
lost to the Steelers.
Yeah.
Arizona Cardinals 0-1.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, so 0-1 gets
Yes.
on the list.
Uh-huh.
Oh wow. Okay, well that kind of opens things up.
5 teams left. No strikes against you.
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
Alan Stiles, you think maybe he's starting to second guess his own strategy here? Like
Probably.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
Yeah, this is really tough. I'm starting to think, and I'm drawing some blanks. You already said the Bills. I'm running out of time. Let's say Titans.
Tennessee Titans lost one of the great Super
They
Bowls
did.
to
That
the Rams. Yeah, absolutely right.
Okay,
Titans
wasn't sure if they had
slash
won one.
Oilers slash 0-1.
Right.
Yep. Yes, only.
So then the Texans wouldn't be involved with the Houston Oilers, correct? That's a history question.
That's two totally different franchises.
Okay.
I'm not saying
Thank you.
anybody's
No,
under or not,
that's
but that's
a
two
good enough answer.
different
That is a
franchises.
good enough answer.
So you got 3 more?
I have 3 more and no strikes on me,
You got
correct?
4 left.
4 left
Yes.
and 3 strikes
Halfway
remaining.
home.
Halfway home.
He's got one in the hip pocket.
I got one in the
One
chamber.
in the chamber,
let me,
baby.
Let me tell you,
One in the
that thing is-
chamber.
that thing is holstered and ready to
Burning
go.
a purple hole.
It sure is. I don't think. Oof.
By the way, if he misses one, Allen has an automatic now.
Well, I mean, it depends if I leave that one on the board for him. We'll go with. It's just really you know I like to look at logos, and so this is really tough for me to not have any sort of source material in front of me.
See them in your mind's eye.
I'm trying. I'm really, really trying. Going division by division. Let's go with the Cincinnati Bengals.
0-3 in Super Bowl play. Lost to the Rams and the Niners twice.
Take that, Boomer.
Come on.
That may have been Allen's answer.
Yeah. Can we go? Can we stay in the North? I'm not entirely sure. How about the Browns?
Browns have never been to a Super Bowl, so that's
good. That was a good run, though.
That was a good run. Good run.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks. I like this support that I'm getting here. It feels great. It feels super.
Did you wish you have a protest or something there?
Yeah, this just seems really upset.
Yeah,
over
you
there in
do
that
seem
corner.
a little mad, but
A
it's
little
okay.
perturbed, if you will.
No.
It was your choice. You did this. Let's see here.
3 teams left on the board. Looking for teams that have been to the Super Bowl but have never won the Super Bowl. We got Buffalo, Cincinnati. We got Carolina. We got the Cardinals. And we've got the Titans. So 3 teams left. Only 1 strike against.
Strip the Band-Aid off. Let's go Minnesota.
Minnesota Vikings.
I just keep seeing Allen's hands
Allen is like
questioning,
really
and I'm
throwing
like,
me for a loop
what's
right now.
the issue?
Also 0-4. I don't know if you knew that,
No,
Chris.
you just didn't have to
I
say
didn't know
that.
they went 4 times.
Okay, well,
They lost to
it
the-
was
let's see.
all in the 60s and 70s.
Raiders,
Okay, let's
Dolphins.
relax, okay?
Of course, the most painful one is the time they never got there.
It's not, okay, guys.
Vikings lost to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
An early Super Bowl.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Chiefs.
You've only got 2 teams left.
Yeah.
But you do have 1 strike against
Yeah,
you.
we're starting to get to some thin area here where I'm starting to lose track of the teams.
This is
I wish I could give hints, dude.
Man,
wish I could, but
Are
I
hints
can't.
allowed?
No, they
Alan,
aren't.
our
They
hints
just
are
aren't. They aren't.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
aren't. I'm gonna. I feel like I need to hurry up here.
You got to the way you think. You got to think categories. You got to go like divisional. You got to go
I'm
maybe
going divisional.
bird
I'm
teams,
trying
blue
to go
teams.
divisional. I'm staying divisional.
It's your producer.
I don't
You
have
need
a
an
team
answer,
in mind. I know
Yeah,
and
we
this
gotta
isn't
give
right, but I
something.
need to say something to restart the clock. It's incorrect, but I'm just going to say the Commanders.
Commanders,
Shout
no,
out
they've
to
actually
Cowboys.
they've Washington
Yeah.
have won
Yes.
Super Bowl.
Yes.
Strike
Shout
2
out
against you.
Cowboys.
All right, 1 more strike.
Yeah.
2 teams left on the board.
This can be me when we land.
Dude,
today.
this is so hard
Good
for me.
answer,
Why
good
is this
answer.
tough? New York Jets.
New York Jets actually
Oh my
won
God! Wait,
that.
no, the early ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
strike
Early,
3,
early.
and you're out, and it's
Or
over to
Super
Alan
Bowl.
Styles and
Wait,
Chiefs.
so cool.
What are the names that have been said?
8 teams on the board. Can you name the team that's been to the Super Bowl the most times, but has never won a Super Bowl? We have Buffalo, we have Minnesota, we have Cincinnati, we have Carolina, we have Arizona, and we have the Titans. So if you can name one of the other 2 teams on the board, you win. If not, Chris is your
I
winner.
gotta think of teams. I'm gonna look at logos now.
All right. Just trying to think. I had a team.
You had a lot of time to think.
The text line.
I'm not looking at the
Take a
text
glance
line.
at the text line, huh?
It's not up there.
Oh
I
man.
just typed in logos.
Okay. All right. I'm going through.
Yeah, take some time.
Yeah.
What was
You guys have a show tomorrow.
what was said already?
I just Buffalo, Minnesota, Cincinnati.
I see one of the teams.
Carolina, Cardinals, and the Titans.
Okay.
Let's go, Alan.
Come on, Alan.
Come
There was
on.
a lot of time here.
No, I'm giving you some.
All right.
I'm hyping you up.
All right. So
He doesn't
you have
want it.
mad, yeah.
He doesn't want it.
You have the you have
I know
those
one of them.
teams.
Uh-huh.
You have those teams that are there.
I got to
Oh my-
start a clock here
Yeah,
at some
what?
point. I
No,
don't
no.
want
I
to.
mean,
Are you having a hard time thinking of teams?
no. Honestly,
It's
10,
tough.
9,
all right. Wait, hold on. I'm close. Hold on.
5.
Oh my.
Hold on.
2.
All right. No.
Answer.
No.
That's so much time.
You had.
I gotta strike him out. I'm sorry.
Did you say?
Just say a team right now.
Did you say?
I can't do it. You strike him out. I'm sorry.
Hey, can I steal?
Can he?
Sure.
Yes,
Can I just guess? Is it the Falcons?
Can I look?
Atlanta Falcons 0-2.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say Falcons.
You didn't say
Falcons.
What?
No, I was gonna say the Falcons.
Oh.
I was gonna say Falcons.
Say it. Cut this kid's
You
mic.
didn't say
I was gonna say Falcons. I asked if they said it. I said
have
the
to give the
Falcons.
decision.
Come
I
on.
think
What are we talking
I
about?
said the Falcons.
yes.
Cut his mic. What are we talking
I
about?
have to give the decision
Come
to Mr.
on.
Watkins.
Come on.
Controversial.
I'm
Come
getting on
on.
a plane.
You're on
You were gonna
4K.
say. What's the other team then? There's one more.
Who did the 49ers beat?
Everyone. Oh, Miami.
Chargers.
No,
Chargers. That's
Chargers
probably
are
what
the
I
other
was gonna
I
say.
literally.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is 2 days in a row. All
They beat
right,
Miami too.
we're out of here.
It's
Right?
crazy.
Yeah, but Miami.
Yo,
won.
I got to deal with this the next 3
Oh,
days.
the undefeated
We're
team.
out of
You're right.
here. All right,
Ridiculous.
10-3-3 has been really
Have fun
great.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
I was
Whitey.
gonna
We will
say
never play.
that.
I was gonna say that, and I was gonna say Troy Aikman.
I can't believe
This is ridiculous.
That's
It's
2
Nick
days in
playing-
a row.
Both of you playing mind games. It's 3 versus 1, 3v1.
I'm in Vegas.
It's
Fine.
3v1. We'll see you tomorrow in Vegas. Drive guys up next. Whitey Gleason, Cal Drake.
It started with 32 teams back in September with one goal. Now we're